Okay, guys, we're live, and I want to see if I can get a 5x5 from you before I proceed any further here. I want to take a couple minutes during this time. We're going to watch a couple things, take a look at how some things are unfolding, and I want to open myself up to criticism. I can't even talk right now. Do I have a 5x5? Okay, good. Now, this first segment that I'm going to play is from New York, and it's just amazing what's happening here. I'm going to play this, and I'm going to play just like 3 seconds of it. The sound is super loud because these cop cars are just blaring their sirens, and it's the cameraman's super close to the sound. So tell me if this is too loud. I got it down pretty far on this, but listen. Okay, is that okay? Can you guys hear that okay? If I turn it down any more, I think it's going to be too low. Maybe you guys can adjust it on your end. Watch this. It looks like a bunch of, who cares who's standing around, okay? It's a bunch of human beings standing around dressed in black, but listen to what the cops say. Now, obviously, a lot of these people standing around, some of them are practicing social distancing measures and some are not. Listen to the cops. Yeah, I know, JC, I know, but it's human beings standing around. It could be any group of people standing around. This is how they're treating human beings. This is how law enforcement, politicians, mayors, congressmen, senators, this is how they're treating human beings. Now let me stop this. Again, my intention on showing you this is not to show a certain people group, but that people have decided to get together and do what they do, regardless of what the politicians say. Nobody has a legitimate right to tell you you need to stand 6 feet apart. I don't care what the justification is. I don't care if they're from the government and they're there to keep you safe and they're there to help you. What if we all did this? I'm not even giving a directive, guys. Because YouTube will take this as, oh my gosh, you're trying to start an uprising. I'm not taking this as a directive. I'm saying, what if we all got together and just did our thing and stood together? See, the problem is there's a bunch of lemmings out there who've been so indoctrinated and so ingrained, and their brains have been turned to mush by mainstream media and government nonsense with their 15,000-hour indoctrination program, that they're the ones turning against the rest of us. What makes this so dangerous is not the law enforcers. We got them way outnumbered. It's not the political parasites. We've got them way outnumbered. It's the people who have turned their minds off and have decided to buy into the fiction of the official government story, the fiction of the mainstream media story. I'm going to do a video later tonight where this London-based, I think they're affiliated with the BBC, but I don't care what you think about David Icke, okay? David Icke has an opinion, and if you want to censor David Icke, then you need to be ready to have yourself be censored. That goes for CNN. I don't want CNN censored. As much as I'm against them, As much as I'm against Rachel Madcow and MSLSD, and as much as I'm against Cenk Uygur and Anna Kasparian from the Young Turks, and just a whole host of people who spew their filth on the airways, as much as I'm against them, I don't want them censored, because censorship is the cancer to society. If you seek censorship for somebody else, in other words, you want the initiation of force and violence to come on somebody to the point where you want somebody to go to them and silence their voices, then you better dang well be ready to have somebody not like what you have to say and execute censorship against you. Having somebody else to execute force and violence on you because they don't like what you have to say. That's how it works. You cannot say on one end you're for censorship for others, but not be willing to take censorship when it's exacted against you. So what I wanted to say in this video, and I want to show you this real quick. I put up a video on my BitChute channel, and I can't give the link, but my BitChute channel is under High Impact Flicks, and I put out this video where this Dr. Cowan, and what I entitled it was BitChute exclusive, Dr. Thomas Cowan systematically decimates the Cerveza bug lie. I'm gonna send out a message on my newsletter tonight with the link to this, but I can't put the link on YouTube. If you want to take a look at it, just search High Impact Flicks on BitChute and you'll find it. But I want to get your take on this, guys. Weigh in underneath, because you can leave your comments. Weigh in the comment section below, because I want to hear what you guys have to say. It's good to hear other voices. Just consider everything and believe nothing. Wait until you have enough evidence to make a decision where you don't have to exercise belief. Belief is the enemy of knowledge, because if you had knowledge, you wouldn't need belief, right? You would know. There's no, I exercise faith in this because I really don't know. And also I want to put myself out there from this last video, because I received some criticism on it, and I don't mind criticism. That's how we grow. Truth absolutely fears no scrutiny. But let me just give you my very simple country boy definition of where I come from. Let me just go make sure. Is the sound still good, guys? I just have to keep on checking. Am I still 5x5? Kung Fu says CNN is comedy gold. Five by five, good. My simple country boy definition of where I'm coming from is I just don't want to be messed with. And I don't want to mess with anybody. I don't want somebody to come at me against my will, without my consent. I don't want anybody to come against my family without their consent. And I would expect that you guys would feel the same way. And if you feel the same way, that you don't want somebody to come against you, initiate unjust force and violence against you, steal your money, throw eggs at your house at night, break your windows, flatten the tires on your car. If you wouldn't want somebody to come up to you and do that, or take a percentage of your income, thanks IRS, then if you're not willing to do that yourself to somebody else, because you have a moral mind and you have a moral standard and a moral basis from which you govern the affairs of your life, and you don't enter into relationships where you force people to love you and you force people to show affection to you and you force people to give you money, if you're like that in your regular relationships, why would you ever want anybody to be like that in their relationships toward anyone else? It doesn't make any sense to me that your neighbor won't steal your stuff, won't threaten you with force and violence if you don't obey them, but they don't mind going to the voting booth and pushing that button and pulling that lever for somebody else to threaten me with violence and initiate force on me and steal my stuff. It's cowardly. It's inconsistent. It's immoral. So that's where I come from. I just want to be left alone. And I'm sure a lot of you guys are in the same boat. You just want to be left alone. I think that we can get a lot done with a voluntaristic society. Look at grocery stores. Highly complex, very intricate, yet tens of thousands, countless of items come into one place under one roof. It's all organized, categorized. Nobody's forcing anybody to come into the store to buy anything. There's no price fixing. As a matter of fact, it's the exact opposite. There's major competition. And because there's competition, then the consumers are rewarded with lower prices. But when you get government involved, you have this third party who all they can do is swing a bat and swing a fist and pound a hammer All they can do is break your legs and then give you a taxpayer-funded crutch, which they stole from somebody else, until you see if it weren't for the government, you wouldn't be able to walk, boy. That's all they can do. That's the very reason somebody like George Washington comes along, and I know this is a grave irony, and he says, government is not eloquence. It's not reason. It's force. Can't you see that? And like fire, it's a dangerous servant and a fearful master. That's what government is. It's force. It's a violation of somebody's will. It's a violation of somebody's rights. It's doing that which is evil to somebody when you wouldn't want that same evil to come upon you. It's completely hypocritical. You cannot be a statist, Republican, Democrat, donkey, elephant, red team, blue team, conservative, liberal. You can't be a statist of any flavor and not be a hypocrite, not be an immoral hypocrite, because what you're actually asking for, demanding, is that force and violence come on people who don't obey your rulers, laws, and edicts and regulations. Prove me wrong. That's where I'm coming from, guys. And it's not about Trump being in the system. It's not about Trump being hated by the mainstream media. I don't know where this dictate has come from, or this moniker, or this colloquialism, or this saying that the enemy of your enemy is your friend. I don't know where that came from. The enemy of your enemy could be just as bad of an enemy or greater of an enemy than your original enemy was. The enemy of your enemy is not necessarily your friend. Let's say there's a gang of thugs in your neighborhood, and every time you go to bed, they're throwing eggs at your windows, slashing your tires, stealing the mail out of your mailbox, and just all around generally being misfits to you. When you walk out to your mailbox to get your mail, they run out of the bushes and they trip you, or they hit you over the head with a bat. They're your enemies. And then a new guy comes into the neighborhood, and now your enemies direct their ire and their hatred and their vitriol against the new guy that came into your neighborhood, to the point where when you go to bed at night, no longer are eggs hitting your windows. They're not slashing your tires. They're not burning your mail. And every time you go to the mailbox, because they're occupied with your neighbor now, they're not tripping you when you go to the mailbox. Well, what if during the night your neighbor is stealing stuff, the new neighbor that now all the other neighbors, the enemy neighbors, are have directed their hatred against? What if your new neighbor during the course of the night is going around to the back of your house, going in the back door and stealing stuff out of your garage? Well, just because all the original thug neighbors that hated your guts are now this guy's enemy doesn't make your new neighbor your friend. Because unbeknownst to you, he's going behind your house while he's being attacked by the other neighbors, and he's stealing stuff out of your garage. So he's just as much of your enemy, and he's there to do you harm and steal from you, than your other neighbors. So the enemy of your enemy, the enemies of your enemy, aren't necessarily your friends. So I hear this argument all the time. Well, CNN hates Donald Trump. MSNBC hates Donald Trump. Has nobody ever watched WWE? It used to be called WWF when I was a kid, World Wrestling Federation. Now I guess it's World Wrestling Entertainment. Hulk Hogan, Andre the Giant, I don't know, Ultimate Warrior. They were all pretending like they were enemies. But it was all pretense to get you in, to put you in the front row of the dog and pony show, to give you bread and circuses, to entertain you, to get you angry at one guy and just loving the other guy. And when it was all over, when they came off the canvas and they closed the curtain and the back door closed, they split up their money and they had a beer and they were just the best of friends. Don't think that doesn't happen on a national and global scale. They know how to work the masses. They're social engineers. They're psychological operators extraordinaire, guys. They know how to pull your strings. They know how to push your buttons. They know how to manipulate and control your mind. That's the very definition, the etymological definition of the word government. It comes from two Latin words, governo and mentis. To control, govern means to control, and mentis means the mind. To control the mind, or mind control. They're controlling your mind, and they know how to do it. They know how to bring down your defenses and control your actions and your attitudes, but all they got to your mind. Because if they control your mind, then they can get you to sign on to a Republican ticket. If they control your mind, they can get you to sign on to the Democratic ticket. That's how it works. Don't be deceived. Don't be naive. Just because the Communist News Network, Turner Broadcasting, all these guys, George Soros acts like they hate Donald Trump. Heck, Donald Trump acted like he hated Hillary Clinton, but he really doesn't. She's not in jail, is she? Well, you got to understand, his hands are tied. He can't really do anything. Then he's not the leader of the free world, and stop kidding yourself. The president is not the leader of the free world. He is a puppet on a string. He's on the higher part of the food chain, yeah. But that's only on this side of the curtain. The guys on the other side of the curtain are the ones who are pulling the strings. They're the puppet masters. So don't think Trump is your friend because your enemies, CNN, MSLSD, hate him. Faux News hates him, but they hate you too. I mean, Faux News loves him. Fake News, Fox News loves Trump, but they hate you. They're totally in the tank for the military-industrial complex, and anybody who's in the tank for the military-industrial complex is 100% against all Americans and everybody on the entire planet. Faux News, CNN, and MSLSD are like this. They're the threefold cord that cannot be quickly broken in regard to the military-industrial complex, in regard to the Federal Reserve, in regard to the IRS. Nobody's coming out against them in fake news. Not Laura Ingraham, not Sean Hannity, not Brian Stelter, not little Jakey Tapper, not Rachel Madcow, not Lawrence O'Donnell. None of them are coming out against the Federal Reserve, and neither is Trump. And that's the common denominator, guys. I cannot stress enough that international bankers hate your ever-living guts. They want to throw poor men onto the battlefield to fight and kill other poor men so that they can enrich the coffers of other rich men. That's how it works. You don't gain anything by coming off the field as a farmer and putting on a uniform, getting a gun, and being shipped overseas to kill some, one of your German friends or one of your French friends or an Iranian friend or somebody in Iraq or somewhere in the Middle East, when the best you can get out of it is to come back in one piece. All wars are banker wars. If you ever get into a war, World War I, World War II, the Korean War, the Vietnam War, Desert Storm, just name it. They're all banker wars. And bankers profit from those wars as they stand on the bodies of poor dead soldiers. That's how it works. And you cannot lead a country to war unless you take out the first enemy of the bankers, and that enemy is truth. Period. And we got to wake up to this fact. Trump is not your friend, and you don't have to look at his enemies to prove that he's not your friend. Matter of fact, people are looking at his enemy. Well, CNN hates his guts, so he must be my friend. How could you be any more misguided? If it's really that easy to deceive people, no wonder why we're in the mess we're in. No wonder we're on a socialist lockdown that everybody's embracing because Trump did it. Gosh, can you imagine how bad our socialist, how bad our chains would be, how tight our shackles would be around our necks and around our ankles and around our wrists if Hillary was president? Oh my gosh. People are literally saying that, guys. I bet Bernie Sanders' socialist loving little heart is jealous to the core because Trump was able to do in just 10 short weeks, putting the nation on lockdown, having Americans standing in bread lines. Oh, Bernie loves that. And I bet he is as jealous as can be because Trump accomplished in 10 to 12 weeks what Bernie's been trying all his life to foist on the American people. Man, he got us hook, line, and sinker, Trump did. And you're going to sit there and call him your enemy, your friend? Let me just show you something. Let me just show you some of the things that people are saying here. And you determine, based on the plumb line of truth, and this isn't about, oh man, I got the truth. If I'm wrong, I want to know it. Here, let me expand this a little bit. I want you to be able to see this. Let me see. I don't know if I can blow this up anymore. All right, so Samson Strong says here, if Trump is wrong for being in the system, I never said he was wrong because he's in the system. You judge a person by his actions, not by who hates him, not by what system he's in, but what he actually does as an individual. That wasn't the point of this video. This video wasn't that he was a part of the system. It's that he's a part of the system and he's doing the things that the system demands of him to our detriment. It's his own individual actions by whether he rises or falls, stands or falls according to the plumb line of true righteousness. That is doing that which is right, period. I have not looked anywhere else. Oh, look at all the people who are against him. He must obviously be a very righteous man. You could have a whole ton of people against you and you freaking deserve it. And you could have a whole ton of people against you and you freaking don't deserve it. But that's not the standard by which you judge if this person is right or wrong. It's according to, does he do to others what he would want done to himself? Does he not do to others what he wouldn't want done to himself? That's pretty much it, guys. If he wouldn't want somebody stealing from him, exacting usury from him, initiating unjust enforcement violence on him, then if he does that to anybody else, he is the one who is the unrighteous, wicked soul. Just so happens to be, he happens to be in a cadre of unrighteous, wicked souls who mean to do a whole bunch of us a whole lot of harm all the time. So he says, if Trump is wrong for being in the system, I never said that. Yeah, it's a wicked system. Ron Paul was in the system, never took a paycheck as a congressman, was known as Dr. No because he would never pass a bill that went against individual rights. He was in the system and somehow managed to stay apart from the system. But as we learned from Ron Paul, you can't be in the system and change the system. The system is not something that can be changed. It's something that has to be destroyed. It's like saying, well, let's change that cancer and let's turn them into good cells. Nature doesn't work like that. Oh, that dog has rabies and it's eating his brain and he's becoming more and more vicious every day. Let's try to get in and change the dog. It doesn't work that way. The animal has to be destroyed. It doesn't work that way in nature. When you have gangrenous cells on your arm or your leg or whatever, and it's starting to work its way into your bloodstream and your system's getting septic, you don't go, well, let's hang around until the leg becomes good. It never works that way. Gangrene doesn't work in reverse. You got to cut it off. As horrible as it sounds, as gruesome as it is, you don't save the body unless you get rid of that part in that kind of situation. So it's not about him being part of the system. It's what he's doing as he is a part of that system and what he's doing against the American people. That's the whole issue. It says, he says, if Trump is wrong for being in the system, never said he was, that he's in, are you not wrong for being in the YouTube system? That you're in YouTube is probably there to collect and analyze data and figure out what kind of people we are. It depends on the person. What is the person doing? Is he promoting truth or is he facilitating lies? Is he telling people what they have to hear or is he telling people what they want to hear? There's a big difference. And find ways to manipulate us to buy stuff and you're just participating in this evil system. Guys, if you don't want to buy a t-shirt, if you don't want to support the channel, that's the whole thing. The free market is the free market. If somebody produces gum and he grabs you by the throat and says, buy this pack of gum, that would be wrong. But if he produces gum and you like the taste of the gum, you like how it chews, it's good, it's flavorful for a long time, you give him your $5 or whatever it is, and he gives you the gum. There's no manipulation involved other than he made gum that you like and you keep coming back for it. That's not manipulation. That's trying to meet a need in the market. If somebody doesn't want your gum, if they don't need your gum, then they don't take your gum. If you bake cookies or if you create widgets or whatever. Now, if you can show me that the selling of a t-shirt or the letting people know you can support certain people on Patreon or PayPal because you're producing content that they might appreciate and want to share and enjoy and get something out of, and it does something, it puts value, it's an added value to their life. If you can show me that that is inherently evil, then we have a conversation. If you don't, then there is no basis for a conversation. What's the point? It's amazing what people will nitpick when evil stands right before them, knocking at their door, banging their door down, taking their wives, taking their sons, taking their daughters, leading people to war, ripping them off, locking them down, putting them into socialist breadlines. It's amazing what you can see right before you, and somebody will still come alongside the very person who's doing the most evil things to them that they possibly do, and they're still going to support that guy. I don't understand that. I'm going to try to pick on the Beijing King. By the way, that was a really good. This is really good. I gave you a like, and I'm not going to deal with it here, but I wrote you back, man. I really appreciate that. I appreciate the criticism, and this does appear to be, an inconsistency in what I've been teaching, and I wrote you back about that. But I didn't want to deal with that here because it's just going to take too much time. I wanted to focus on some of these. Let's see. Michael Rhodes says he, being Brandon Tatum, is right about the system being bigger. Look up SGT reports. Are we mice or men video from today? Guys, I watched that video. It's amazing that people can't see the hypocrisy in the first 3.5 minutes of that. Here's the deal. Here's what Sean from SGT reports did in that. And people are going, oh, you're so hateful. No, let's deal just with the substance. Okay. If I do something that's hypocritical, you got to call me out. It's just the right thing to do. If I say one thing and then speak on the other side of my mouth and say the exact opposite, if I condemn Nazi Pelosi for, let's say she steals $100 from some poor guy as he's sleeping on a park bench in New York, and then Trump comes along and does the exact same thing, and I condemn Nancy Pelosi for doing it, but I find a way to explain away why Trump did it, I'm a freaking hypocrite. And not only am I not doing anybody any good, I'm literally a cancer to society because now I'm condoning the very evil that degrades society. Do you get what I'm saying? It doesn't matter that it was Nancy Pelosi who did it. It's that what she did was wrong. It doesn't matter if it was Donald Trump who stole that money from that beggar, that guy who's outside on that park bench, and that's all he's got to his name. It doesn't matter that it was Donald Trump. It doesn't matter that Nancy is a Democrat and that Trump's a Republican. What matters is the act. Was it right or was it wrong? If it was unrighteous, then what that person did was an unrighteous act, period. I don't understand how people can say that. So Sean, in this Of Mice and Men video, condemns this I think it was the governor of Michigan or something. I can't remember what her name was. I was planning on doing a video on it. But, people are going, you're just being so hateful. You're just picking people apart. No, it's about truth. Truth matters, guys. Being a hypocrite matters. That's why society is in the shape that it's in. We have to hold the line and say this far and no more. Okay, we can't go beyond this because as soon as you go beyond that barrier right there, all bets are off. And the floodgates for evil are just wide open, man. We're not talking about a swamp full of water coming through. We're talking about oceans full of water, and good luck closing that door back up. Once you open that Pandora's box, it ain't closing back up, guys. It will degrade the entire society. So I would expect somebody to call me out for my hypocrisy. That's why I appreciate Beijing King weighing in on that and saying, hey, and I love the way he did it too. It wasn't like, hey, When I approached Sean, it wasn't it was a, dude, I've talked to you about this before. Why are you promoting bankers? And why are you promoting the initiation of unjust force on peaceful people who haven't done anything wrong? That's the reason our society is in the shape that it's in. That's why people have closed themselves in and go, well, I'm just going to obey the government. I mean, they must know best, right? Yeah, but you're losing your business. Well, I know, but it's the government. Yeah, but that $1,200 you're going to get, things are going to get so bad, eggs are going to be $30 freaking a dozen or more. We're going to be in a Zimbabwe situation where we're going to have to make $1 trillion notes. That is no joke, guys. 100% of the time in the course of human history, currencies always find their fair market value of zero. But before that happens, you have to hyperinflate to the point where you got all these massive bills, and it's not going to be bills anymore. It's going to be debit or credit cards, or you're going to have a chip in your hand because they're doing away with the cash society and going with cashless society. But the point is, your money is going to become worthless because of the evil actions of certain men in government, one of them being Donald Trump. Oh, you're just a libtard. Come on. Come at with me with some logic, will you? Come at me with some truth. Come at me with a well-articulated, well-thought-out, well-reasoned, logic-based, truth-based response instead of this. Look, I'll just... see, look up SGT reports. Oh, what I was going to get back with was he got onto some governor. I think it was Michigan. Was it Michigan, babe? Do you remember? It was some lady, a Michigan governor, who made an executive order where you can't buy seeds. Yes, that's tyrannical. He said, here's the face of a tyrant. Yes, I agree. That is tyrannical. But you know what's even more tyrannical? What's more tyrannical is taking the notes in your pocket. I don't have my wallet on the desk right now, but taking the Federal Reserve notes in your pocket and devaluing them with the stroke of a pen. In other words, he stole money and value from your time and laboring energies with one fell $6.2 trillion swoop. That's unconscionable. Don't tell me that she's a tyrant, but he's not. You've got to be kidding me. Where's the outrage for that tyranny? Oh, there's certain, I'm so glad I'm under the tyranny of Trump. I'm so glad the boot of Trump is on my neck and crushing my nose into the dirt. Good thing it's not Hillary. I wouldn't be able to tolerate that. Where's the logic? Where's the sanity? I don't even get that, Brandon Tatum. I don't get that, Sean from SGT Report. I don't understand that, X22. I don't understand that, Mark Dice. How can you still support a guy who has literally foisted a concentrated, super premium size socialism on the United States that Bernie Sanders can only think about in his wildest dreams? How can you stand behind the guy who's literally sold us out to the 1913 banksters of the Federal Reserve and the IRS down the river, so far down the river you can't even see it? So I don't understand that. Of course he's right about the system being bigger. Well, what does that mean? Why are you voting? If the system's so big that Trump can't do anything about it and no presidential candidate, Republican or Democrat, could ever do anything about it, then we need to do away with the system. We need to cut it off. We need to take that beast that has rabies and put it out of its misery. One of the worst things that's ever happened, you guys agree or disagree? One or two. I'm going to go into the chat right now. One of the worst things, the absolute worst things that has ever happened to the United States and the world is Washington, D.C. Am I lying or am I telling the truth? The worst thing that's ever happened on the face of the earth is in a 10 by 10 square mile radius in the Washington's District of Criminals. More wars, more suffering, more famine, more plagues, more sanctions. They call it maximum pressure campaign. No amount of evil has ever been foisted in such a concentrated form so quickly on the face of the entire earth than what's come out of Washington's District of Criminals. Nothing. Because they're being controlled by the military-industrial complex, which is being controlled by the Zionist overlords. And it's all operating out of Washington's District of Criminals. And here's the kicker. It's legalized immorality from Washington, D.C., which makes it even worse because now everybody looks at it and goes, well, it's legal, so it must be okay. I don't even... Bastiat said, when plunder becomes a way of life for a group of men living together in society, they create for themselves in the course of time a moral code that authorizes it and a legal code which glorifies it. This legal code for Washington, D.C., Washington's District of Criminals, glorifies and normalizes and legalizes theft and outright mass murder, which they call wars. No, there's no more. There's so much death and destruction and mayhem and chaos and evil that has come out of Washington, D.C., out of the halls of Congress, out of the chambers of the Senate, than you could possibly shake a stick at in your entire government-forsaken life. And we're going to sit here and applaud socialism because Trump brought it. Trump brought it. Trump okayed it. Trump signed off on it. Oh, you're just a liberal Democrat. Oh, God. You're just a demon rat, Brian. Holy crap. Where's logic? Where's truth? Where's love and basic human compassion? Where's the golden rule? Where's all these Christians? And people who call themselves Christians. I'm not labeling every Christian in there, okay? People who call themselves Christians or Christians in name only or whatever you want to call them are the worst. The John Hagees of the world and these big Zionist Christian churches of the world just yucking it up for Trump. They're bringing in socialism. I got a beef with you, Mark Dice. I got a beef with you, Brandon Tatum. Not because I hate you guys as people, but because I love freedom. And freedom has a question. If you're for Trump, how can you at the same time say you're for freedom? How can you at the same time say that you're for the free market? You can't. You can't. I just want to make sure I was still on there. I'll deal with the super chats in a second, guys. There were a couple things that I read here. Let me see. Let me make sure that I'm still on here. Let's see. There were a couple ones that really don't even waste your time with Candace Owens. Here's what I was talking. Me and Trish were talking today. Man, I love her. We have some great conversations, man. I really hope that you guys have somebody in your life as special as Trish is to me. I mean, because we have some deep, meaningful, efficacious conversations that are super thought-provoking. And we were talking, and what came out was you got Brandon Tatum, David Harris Jr., I think that's what his name is, Anthony Brian Logan, Candace Owens, all these people who have met, Mark Dice, all these people who live streamed, who were invited to the White House and on the South Lawn or whatever. And they get to rub shoulders with all the dignitaries and shake hands with Donald Trump and take a picture, the Gary Franchies of the world, all these people. I'm calling you guys out because our country is dying. And a big part of that has to do with you guys facilitating tyranny, as you call it, freedom and liberty. Nothing is worse than thinking something is freedom when it has a knife behind its back and it's ready to stab you in the back as socialist or as fascist or as communist. But it comes as freedom, it comes as libertarian, and all these people are endorsing it, so it must be right. You guys are deceiving millions and millions of people who otherwise would see the light, and then we would just have mass civil disobedience and our world would be different. The reason I'm doing this video right here, the reason I'm live streaming, is because I want to put myself on the spot live in front of you guys and answer some of these criticisms right here and tell you guys the reason I'm coming out against these guys, these SGT Report, X22, Q, Amazing Polly, all you guys. I'm just going to keep naming you guys. You can think I'm mean-spirited all you want, but our country is freaking dying because of the deception and the deceptive groundwork you guys are laying down. Having them accept Trump. And then everybody's got to wrestle with this unnecessary cognitive dissonance in their minds. Well, yeah, they're right. Well, at least it wasn't Hillary, but are they right? Because it still is tyranny. Oh, okay, Candace Owens says it's not tyranny and she's going to run for office and she's behind the desk at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue in the Oval Office hugging up to Trump. So, Candace Owens must be right. Gary Franchi has on his banner on his YouTube channel, he's right next to Trump. So, Trump must be right because I trust Gary Franchi or I trust Mark Dice or people trust you guys to bring them the truth. And all you're doing is leading them into a deeper level of deception and tyranny to the point where here we are locked in our houses. And if we go out, we'll be fined or we'll be caged, but we'll definitely be handcuffed. We'll definitely be kidnapped by the authorities because everybody thinks that CV, Cerveza bug, is going to kill him in the street. You guys can click off of this if you want to, but if I am not telling the truth, I want to know about it. This isn't about what I personally feel about Mark Dice or Gary Franchi or X22 Report or SGT Reports, but those guys, you guys, if you're watching, and then people will go, that long-haired hippie, look at him, looks like he's on steroids. Come on, Sean from SGT Report. That is absolutely ad hominem. I'm dealing with you guys on the level of what you guys are teaching, saying it's tyranny under Trump is okay, but tyranny under Hillary would not be. Tyranny under Trump is A-okay, but hey, watch out for the tyranny brand that comes out of Nazi Pelosi's mouth. Tyranny by any other name is tyranny. And it leads to slavery. And it leads to loss of freedoms. And it leads to Americans standing in breadlines. Did you see my last video? There's drone shots of miles and miles of cars and cars and cars of our fellow Americans standing in a Bernie Sanders style socialist breadline. Why? Because Trump signed his signature on it, $6.2 million. I'm so excited about this. I'm so honored to be here. While banker puppet Steve Mnuchin is behind him going, I'll take that pen for posterity. This is great. Lucian says, the contempt and vitriol you, that's me, display for other humans that don't think exactly like you is enough for me to walk away from anything you attempt to organize. Okay, so let's deal with the substance. Vitriol I display for somebody who literally wrote the death warrant for millions of not only Americans, but everybody who's holding our fiat currency got frickin' ripped off. Bend over, they just screwed you in the name of the bankers and in the name of Make America Great Again. My vitriol is against the bankers who hate your guts and their agents like Steve Mnuchin and Mike Pompeo and Wilbur Ross and Hillary Clinton and Dianne Frankenstein and Nazi Pelosi. Oh, and Donald Trump. It's not vitriol when we come out against Nazi Pelosi because she wants to grab our guns, or a beta male O'Rourke who says, yeah, take the AR-15s and the AK-47. Hell yeah, we're going to take them. How are you going to take them, Beto? Oh, that's right. You're going to use government-sanctioned gun violence, which you say you're against, you hypocrite, to take our AK-47s. We are peaceful people who own these inanimate objects, and you're going to come to us and steal our property is what you said, Beto. It's what you said. I'm going to hold you at your word. Is that vitriol against beta male O'Rourke, or is that a firm stand in resistance against every shade of tyranny, no matter who it comes from? A consistent thread line of I hate tyranny. Who's bringing the tyranny? I don't care. Beta male? I don't care. He's guilty of being a tyrant. He's guilty of being a traitor. Oh, is it Nazi Pelosi? I don't care. I don't care what her name is. I don't care what his name is. I don't care if she or he or it is black or white or trans or gay or straight. I don't care. Are they bringing tyranny? And is it vitriol if I stand up against them because of the tyranny they're bringing? I'm amazed at the depth of deception that I unearth every single day on this channel. Amazed. Shocked. My jaw literally... I'm 50% of the time, I'm probably sitting at my computer going, and I've seen it time and time again. And I refuse to get sensitized to it or desensitized by it. I want to stay sensitized to it. I want crap to continue smelling like crap. Can you imagine if crap stopped smelling like crap? You'd probably be touching it and you'd have it in your bed and you wouldn't care because it's crap and this is our new normal. Hey babe, we have crap in the bed today. Well, it doesn't matter because we got used to it. Don't get used to crap. Don't get used to tyranny. I don't care who brings it. If you're not as against tyranny for Nazi Pelosi as you are against the tyranny that comes from the control box of your mind and started pushing buttons and made you submit to the left versus right paradigm lie to the point where you don't even know what righteousness and evil is anymore. Because a certain amount of evil if it comes from your guy as long as he's got an R next to his name. But you won't accept it because the D guy doesn't have it. Do you realize that Trump has far exceeded the national debt above and beyond what Obama did in 8 years? With the stroke of a pen, he did in 5 seconds what Obama took him 5 years to do. And you were so against Obama when he did it, but ain't nobody on the elephant side substantially against Trump and calling for him as a traitor to be tarred and feathered. And you should be. You should be just as against Trump. No, more than you were against Obama. Was Obama a traitor? Hell yeah, he was. Why was he a traitor? Why was he banker bought? Because he did banker things as agents of a banker. And if it looks like a banker, talks like a banker, walks like a banker, and signs off bills into laws like a banker, then by golly, he's a banker. He's an agent of the bankers. And the bankers are your sworn enemies. They will never be your friends, no matter how they appear to you on the front of this side of the curtain. I don't even get it, man. Yeah, I like what chaotic. Trump is getting the socialism done Bernie can only dream of. Farmers are getting government checks for hard times, and this week the rest of us start getting free government checks for hard times. Maybe Trump can help start our national health care with some free immunizations next, and you better believe that's on the horizon. And I can only imagine that the Candace Owens and the Brandon Tatums and the ABLs and the American Joe shows and the SGT reports and the X22 reports and the Amazing Polly and the Mark Dices of the world will be more than happy to step forward and applaud their vaccination as long as it's Trump sanctioned. Unreal, guys. If you are going to stand by a 6.2 trillion, not thousand, not million, not billion, but 6.2 freaking trillion dollar corporate bailout package. And that's exactly what it was. Stop calling it a stimulus for the American people. They're laughing at you guys. Oh my God, I can't believe it's still this easy. The Hegelian dialectic, problem, reaction, solution. Don't change the formula. Why change it? Why fix what ain't broken? It's been working so well for 107 years, since 1913. They were willing to sign up as long as we put a freaking R next to their name. And these people over here, these dumb shysters, as long as there's a D next to their name, they're on board. As long as we got the Democrats and Republicans, the conservatives and the liberals fighting against each other, man, it's happy days for us. We just get a better and better Christmas every single year, every single day. It's just raining money because these people are too stupid to realize that the left versus right paradigm dog and pony show is basically slitting their throats every single day, like stuck hogs. Just want to make sure that we're still live. It has this. Yeah, I lost some people on that. That's fine, guys. That's fine. Let's see. There's a couple. Let's see. Oh, this is a good one. This comes from Anomalous Skies. Some evidence toward your point. Trump is supposed to be anti-Soros, yet the Abbott Laboratories that Vanna Trump was showcasing the unboxing of their CV test is allegedly owned by George Soros. I don't have any documentation for that, but I wouldn't doubt it, guys. It's WWE. Don't think for a second Trump is against Soros. He's not against the Clintons. If he was, they'd be in jail or have already met their fate with the electric chair or the lethal injection. And Trump pretends fights with, yeah, this is a great point. And you can see this empirically. You can look at this and objectively. Amazon is making out like bandits while everybody else, all the mom and pop shops, they're shut down. The big box stores are open. Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, Lowe's, Home Depot, Costco, Sam's Club, which is Walmart related. They're going to survive because they're getting protection from the government. They're declared essential. But you mom and pop shops, all the greasy spoons in your town, all the bicycle shops, all the little hardware stores, gone, man. They're going to be gone. That $1,200 isn't going to bail them out, all these freaking loans. Hey, we just hamstrung you and made you go out of business. But wait, we got some good news. Now you can go to our bankers and get a loan so you can make it through and make your payroll. Ain't we dandy? That's that. I'll break your legs, give you a taxpayer-funded crutch and tell you, hey, you wouldn't even be able to walk. It wasn't for the government. You wouldn't even be able to pay your employees. It wasn't for the government. Look how great we are. This is great, huh? That's how stupid we are. Stupid, man. You literally have to pay somebody to be as stupid as we've been. And then they said, Anomalous Guy says, and Trump pretends fights with, I think she meant Bezos, the Amazon guy. Yet the shutdown has made Amazon hundreds of millions of extra in mere weeks. Yep, you can see it. Amazon's delivering. UPS is delivering. The U.S. Post Office is still open. There you go, government. Hey. But you're forced to close because you're non-essential. You're forced to close because you could spread the virus. But UPS drivers and FedEx drivers can't spread the virus? You got to be kidding me. The mailman can't spread the virus? They don't believe the virus exists. Jeez. And Thomas Orr. I wanted to get to Thomas Orr here. See, Brian, what Brandon said to you is 100% correct. Nothing that he said was correct. When you started out this video, including yourself not belittling people, I thought maybe you were going back the way it used to be. But then I get to the Brandon Tatum video. Why do you think they all hate Trump so much? Why do you think they hate? Why do you think they do? Trump is the best thing that ever happened to the Communist News Network. If it wasn't for Trump, they wouldn't have much to talk about. Have their ratings gone through the floor? I don't know. It looks like. But do you trust Nielsen? I don't know. But it doesn't matter. What laws is Trump enacting? Let's stay away from of your enemy is your friend business. Even people in his own party when he first was elected. But how about his actions? It's because Trump is there cleaning house, basically. Okay. How is it let's see. How can I be cleaning my house if I hire a guy to come in with buckets of vomit and throw the vomit all over my kitchen floor and all over my living room floor and on the couch and on the beds? How can that be cleaning the house? What am I saying? How can it be cleaning house? How is it consistent with draining the swamp and cleaning the house when you tell Goldman Sachs lifer, Guys, Goldman Sachs is one of the big reasons we had the 2008 financial collapse. Goldman Sachs is the reason that Obama signed the $700 billion TARP bailout, that Americans bailed out people like Goldman Sachs and Bear Stearns and all those crazy lenders, subprime mortgages and all that kind of stuff. How can it be consistent with cleaning the house when you bring a Goldman Sachs Zionist international banker in to be in control of the Treasury? Treasury Secretary Steve Mnuchin is the Goldman Sachs banking insider. A Zionist banker is in control of the Treasury. That's like a farmer saying, hey, Fox, here's the key to my hen house. Go in and out anytime you want to, and think for 1 second, irrationally think for 1 second, that fox is not going to destroy every single one of those chickens. You're 100% delusional if you think that fox is going to leave any of those chickens alive. That's exactly what Trump did. It's not the answer. The logical answer is, Alex, I'll take logical answers for $200. Okay, what's your logical answer? The answer is Steve Mnuchin, Zionist inside banking manager for Goldman Sachs, is now the Treasury Secretary, and therefore the Federal Reserve has control of the Treasury Department. Ding, 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 ding. Therefore, it is not consistent with draining the swamp to have a banker, a Zionist banker, in control of the Treasury. As a matter of fact, it's consistent with filling the swamp with more deadly swamp creatures. So Trump is there cleaning the house, basically. No, he isn't. I can go right down the list, guys. Bolton. Yeah, Bolton got fired, but he was hired in the first place. You couldn't even get more war hawkish outside of John McCain than Bolton. And then you got former CIA director Pompeo. Mr. Lie, cheat, and steal, and have training manuals to do others to the same, teach others to do the same. Couldn't get more warmongerish. Could not. Do you realize that there's a shadow government that's controlling things? You don't have to have a shadow government. They meet in Congress Monday through Friday in Washington's District of Criminals. It's not shadows. They walk in broad daylight. There is no, guys, get it out of your mind that there's a deep state. There's just the state and the people. And everybody in the state, no matter what level they're at, is against you because they're doing the state's business. They're all Title 28, Section 3002, 15A, corporate employees looking out for corporate interests, not yours. Deep state. I'm sick of hearing about the deep state. You don't need a deep state. The shallow state's deadly enough. It's almost like saying, I'm glad my friend was killed with a 223. Could you imagine how much worse it'd be if he was killed with a 40 caliber? It doesn't matter. He's dead. He's dead. What do you want me to kill you by? The guillotine or electric shock or a lethal injection? It doesn't matter. You're going to be dead. Might as well just get it over quick. I can't even understand why people would say that. The shallow, deep state. Do people feel better about themselves when they say, well, there's a deep state? Do they feel better about themselves? Because that's the entire premise of Q. The entire premise of Q is trust the plan. Oh, really, Q? What is the plan? Because I really want to put my faith in it. I really want to turn off my critical thinking and trust it. What is it? Well, you got to understand there are good guys in government who want to weed out the bad guys in government for the people. Really? How can you be a good guy in government when government is about mind control? Controlling the people for the whims of people in government. Government literally equals the initiation of unjust force and violence on peaceful people who just want to be left alone. You can't be a good guy and be in government. Yeah, you might not know the deep evil stuff that other people know. It's kind of like being a 33rd degree Mason. The starter Masons don't really know what's going on. They think, hey, we're just doing this clownish thing. You know, we're just riding these little bicycles with these clown noses on to make little kids laugh. But the deep Shriners know, hey, we just sacrificed a goat to Lucifer and we're into child sacrifice and we got a pedo ring going on the side. Yeah, there are people who have levels of evil, but that doesn't make the initial initiant any less evil. Whether he knows it or not, evil is evil. Whether you don't get a pass if you're ignorant. Ignorance is not bliss. It may seem like it is, but it's not. Not according to truth, righteous, justice, and everything that is right at all. Just like every McDonald's has a franchise owner, Trump is just the franchise owner of the United States. No, he's not. The franchise owner of the United States is Israel and has been for a long time. I don't know where you've been, Thomas. I really don't know. Have you seen what BBN says about how easy it is to deceive Americans? There are parameters he has to work within. Evil parameters. If you are working within evil parameters, you yourself are evil. If you yourself are working within evil parameters, doing that which is evil, you're evil. Your actions, doesn't the Bible say something like, by their fruits you'll recognize them? Then you'll know the truth and the truth will set you free. Just like Brandon says, I think you only reached out to these guys to boost your own failing channel already. Dude, if you just look at Social Blade, which is hilarious because if you guys notice what, I'm going to show you what Social Blade did. Let me just show you about my failing channel real quick. We'll go to, I'm averaging 208,000 subscribers. I would actually do Brandon a favor, and I'm not doing this to toot my horn, but I want to answer my detractors. Let me make sure I'm still live here. My failing channel, that's what we're right now. I'm averaging 208,977 views a day. I'm averaging, let's see, daily averages 900 subscribers a day. Let's go to Brandon Tatum's channel. BT Cruiser 34 is his channel moniker. Huh. Of course it froze up. That's weird. Let me see something. All right, let me go back to Social Blade. Happy Festival of Ishtar, by the way, guys. Yeah, I don't know what's going on here. My computer has totally... Can you guys hear me? What's up, Jeff is here audits. It looks like I'm still going. Been buffing bad? Ah, geez. I hate that. Let's see. BT Cruiser 34 is Brandon Tatum. All right, here it is. Here's the Officer Brandon Tatum Social Blade stats. He's averaging 114,000 and so I'm averaging 900 daily subscribers added to my channel a day, which is 3 times his is 300, and he's averaging 114,000 views a day, and I'm averaging 200. So to answer, see, what people like to do is they like to go to the ad hominem. I don't know. I guess it makes people feel safer. It keeps them from dealing with the truth. But he says, let's see, just like Brandon said, I think you only reached out to these guys to boost your own failing channel, really. Okay, that would be speculation. That would be conjecture, using Brandon Tatum's word. But all I'm using is evidence. I'm using facts. I'm showing people what the facts are and what people say, not speculating on what I think they mean or certain things that I can't prove. And when you do that, Thomas Orr, when you assume, you literally make an ass out of you and me. You put yourself out on a limb where it can, not only can it not be substantiated, but I just substantiated the exact opposite. Even though he has more subscribers than me, currently, I could help him out and give him a boost. Amazingly, I don't even know why my channel is doing so well. I think people are starting to wake up to the truth. Not because of me, but because I think there are people who are actually hungry and thirsting for truth, and they've been going around the horn so much, they've been doing the same things over and over, expecting a different result, And they're just going crazy. It's like, okay, there's got to be a better way. There's got to be a right way. It's not even so much the better way, it's the right way. The right way is not necessarily the easiest way, but it is the right way. Confucius said the most comfortable pillow you will ever own is a clean conscience. If you go to bed knowing, not believing, not thinking, not hoping, not praying that you've done right, but actually doing that which is right, you will sleep like a freaking baby. And that's not to say that there aren't psychopaths out there and sociopaths and megalomaniacs that when they put their head down on the pillow at night after they've killed however many people that day and made sure that they ruined as many lives as possible, that's not saying that they won't sleep well, because they do. I'm just saying, make sure that when you sleep well at night, it's because you did the best you could do for your fellow human being. And one of the best things that you can do for them is to speak the truth without wavering, without hypocrisy. I heard somebody tell me hypocrisy or sincere, when people sign sincerely, hey, I want to let you know I appreciate you. I wanted to write this letter of appreciation, sincerely, Brian. Sincerely comes from two Latin words that literally means without wax. In other words, without pretense. In other words, this is who I am. Truly, sincerely, this is who I am. I'm not pretending. My failing channel. Trump is in there doing all he can, and look how much shit they are giving him. He's doing all he can to tear down the fabric of not only America, but the entire freaking world. Do you remember, and I pointed this out in my last video, when he got on to Barack Obama for wanting to bring the interest rates to zero and launch quantitative easing, and Donald Trump, pre-president Donald Trump, was absolutely right in launching that criticism against him, because when you launch quantitative easing, basically you're issuing counterfeit notes into the money supply. When you increase the money supply with counterfeit notes, you dilute the money supply. When you dilute the money supply, you're literally taking value away from everybody who legitimately earned that. In other words, when you call for quantitative easing, when you write bills that turn into laws that are trillion-dollar stimulus packages, which are really corporate bailouts, you're actually stealing the time and laboring energy from every single person who put in an honest day's work. And I can't think of anything more heinous than that, because it doesn't stay there. That free money that the international bankers just got off of the sweat of your brow, over the blood, sweat, and tears of your labor, over your planning, sitting down with the family and creating a family business, they use that money to kill babies in the womb. They use that money to start foreign wars. They use that money to beef up the military-industrial complex. They use that money to beef up the prison-industrial complex and to foist the drug war, which is really a war on people. To give money to the CIA and the FBI and the ATF and TSA and the Department of Homeland Security and all this waste, death, Pentagon. One day before 9/11, Donald Rumsfeld stood up there and said, well, we have it again, the Pentagon bureaucracy. We can't seem to find 2.3, not million, not billion, trillion dollars. And then we had 9/11, and then all of a sudden everybody forgot about it. Where's the $2.3 trillion? So instead of cutting back so that they can issue this stimulus, instead of stopping all the frickin' foreign aid, $10 million a day to Israel and God knows what to Ukraine and all these billions of dollars, hundreds of billion dollars we give to NASA and garbage like that, instead of cutting back and living within our means, they create new notes of debt that put more of our future unborn generations into transgeneration debt slavery, and create more wars and more bombs and build more planes and bail out more bankers and bail out more corporate executives who fan the flames of the corporate multi-trillion dollar debt bubble. Wow. Thomas Orr, I can't even think. I can only imagine that I don't know. I don't understand. I'm not, no need for ad hominems here. And I literally was going to descend to the depths of, I opened the door to the cellar of ad hominem and I said, you know what? Okay, I'm not going to do it. But Thomas Orr, give me logic. Give me truth. Don't give me ad hominems. Don't say my failing channel and assume a motive on my heart. You're never going to get anywhere with that. something you can't prove, something you can't verify. There's no evidence for it. How many people have I lost? Let's see. I can't believe it's still going. Usually it doesn't go this long. What's up, 6 Hour? Back at Shamil. If you're in the, I know you're trying to Skype me, man, but I can't answer the Skype while I'm on live stream if you're in the room. Back at Shamil in New York's doing a great job as on Twitter as people are useless eaters. All right, I'm moving on from Thomas Orr. What else does he say? I don't know. There's a couple other things I want to look for the negatives. Yeah, I knew I lost like 700 people talking about that. Yeah, Jesse, you're right. I'm gonna go into the. Let me just do some super chats real quick. Yeah, give me liberty or give me death. Where's that spirit? It's not like people are like, give me liberty or give me death, unless you can give me a $1,200 bailout. Then I'll kind of think differently about it. The Jerk 85 says, I don't want the $1,200. I'm used. Shoot, I don't want to slaughter. I'm used in to invest in silver and gold and defense gear. America, as we know, is disappearing day by day. Sorry, I slaughtered that. The Jerk. Thanks for the super chat. Hey, what's up, Corey Man X? I want to have a peaceful rally at the government house in Texas. The governor's house in Texas. I need your help. I emailed you. Please reach out. Thanks for the love you left on my channel. Yeah, Corey. One of my admins put Corey X Man's. It's Corey Man X. Find Corey Man X on YouTube and put a couple links to his channel there. Thanks, Corey Man X. Yeah, see, it's not about rallying, though. I really don't think it's not about rallying, Corey. I would disagree with that. We had a rally at the state capitol in Virginia on January 20th. Where are those people now? It's not about rallying, showing force, being good little people in the street. And because I am not here to beg any authority for, please give me my freedom back. It's not about getting your freedom back from somebody. It's about just walking in freedom, and to hell with you. But it's more about getting a whole bunch of people to walk in their freedom at the same time. It's really not rallying it seems counterproductive to me. Please, if you think I'm wrong, I want to hear it, but I just haven't seen any good fruit from it, because it seems to give people a false sense of security when they're around like, for example, on January 20th, 2020, at the Virginia State Capitol, everybody's got their firearms on. It's a real good feeling. Oh man, it's so cool to see people, 10 guys standing on a street corner having their long guns out, having their, AK-47s, AR-15s just loaded to the teeth, man. Multi-magazines, flak jackets, helmets. I love that. But it just seems like a false sense of security, because where are all those people? Where are all those banners? Come and take it. It's almost like, don't have to come and take it. We're just going to leave it. We're going to obey you. It's about mass civil disobedience day by day in your local communities. The problem is we're surrounded by a bunch of zombies who really believe that what the government is doing is going to protect them. So thanks, Corey Man X. Maybe we can talk about it or whatever, but I disagree with the rally thing. It's not about rallying at a state capitol. Although, maybe if you had 5,000 people at a state capitol all shoulder to shoulder and not practicing social distancing, maybe it would be a good spark for the nation if it made, nationwide TV. Look at all these people not practicing social distancing. But then I could see it doesn't. Oh man, I don't know. I'm so conflicted on that. Bob Vila says nobody gathers, no well-regulated militia. Truth Teller says, did you see the U.S. just signed a $450 million Cerveza bug contract with Johnson & Johnson? No, I did not see that, but I wouldn't doubt it. I just put that link in the description, Truth Teller, or put it in the chat room. 40 Stephanie says, thumbs up. Thank you for that super chat. Noble Savage says, get up, stand up, and don't comply. All of us. That's it. Get up, stand up, don't comply. It's like, oh, I'm sorry. The mayor said, close my business. I don't recognize that person as having any legitimized authority over me. I'm not doing anything wrong. The problem is that the law enforcers who bought onto what the mayor says, and the 2,000 other people in your community who are drinking the Kool-Aid. That's another thing. Somebody said saying drinking the Kool-Aid to a black man is racist. I don't know what the heck you're talking about. It's amazing how sensitive and wimpish we've become as Americans, to where the first card you're going to pull out is the race card. Just totally caught me off guard. Comet Collection Agency says, Brian, last time there was a revolution was 1776, where the Redcoats retreated back across the Atlantic. Yeah, the most powerful military force of the age. And the colonists weren't even totally united. It was just a band of people who were sick of getting pushed around. Not everybody was on board with the colonists. And they pushed back the Redcoats, and they won. What the heck? And it was only because of a tax on tea and the thought that the king might impose some kind of, banker restriction on their monetary system, whatever they had back then. What are the chances the crown virus is back? Yeah, exactly. Calling this CV virus, the word corona comes from crown. Interesting. VA Prepper says, when will we start to see massive civil unrest? When the food shelves start emptying, man. You're going to see a different animal in society. I don't care if they're zombies. When they're fighting for the last can of beans on the shelf, you're going to see it's going to be a different ball game. I hope you guys are prepared. And people are like, you're just trying to profit off this. Guys, get your food from anywhere. If you want to get it from preparewithhighimpactflix.com or somewhere, make sure you get it, because if empty store shelves don't happen in the next couple of months and riots like we've seen in other countries, I will be shocked, man, especially if they keep us on lockdown till May 30th. Give me a break, man. Marcus Koulis says, he who knows nothing is closer to the truth than he whose mind is filled with falsehoods and errors. Thomas Jefferson. I love that. Armchair Quarterback says, let's protest. Send me a location. Davy Croc 2 says, Trump is their belief and business. Yep. Davy Crocco's got some good stuff too. Angel for Truth. Thank you. eKid 3000 says, Brian, you're that guy whose videos will be played and echoed after the apocalypse. We'll say he tried to warn us, but it'll be too late because we didn't listen, stand, and fight back when we could have. God, man, we should have started this a long time ago. Oh, man, there was a guy named Ron Paul who tried to start it a long time ago. You remember Aaron Russo? Part of my awakening came from G. Edward Griffith's book, Creature from Jekyll Island, Aaron Russo's book, Freedom to Fascism, and a couple books by Ron Paul and the Ron Paul campaign. That's what woke me up. Once I saw freedom, guys, once you see it, you can't unsee it. That's why I look at Trump through the lenses of, okay, does this square with freedom? Wait a second. Wait a minute. That doesn't square with freedom. Holy crap. It's like they live. It's like, holy crap. I saw what the billboard actually says, and I can't unsee it. I've seen the aliens who are acting like humans, and I can't unsee it. Now I know the truth. I can't go back. Now I've seen the truth. I can't go back. It's like that song. I seen the light. I saw the light. No more darkness. You know that song? JC says, Brian, let's focus on how to end the lockdown. I really do want to focus on how to end the lockdown. Maybe we can do that in the last part of this. I really wanted to address some more of this stuff, though. Attila Powers, thank you. Farrell B, have you seen Bill Gates using Marina Abramovic for the new Microsoft commercial? No, I have not seen that. Are you serious? There's so much I miss, guys. They're shoving their evil in our faces while taking your rights. Farrell B, put that in the chat. Put that in the chat, Farrell B. I want to see that. You guys know who Marina Abramovic is, right? Spirit Cooking, John and Tony Podesta, the WikiLeaks emails. God, man. Best friends with Jay-Z. They do all this satanic blood ritual crap. Man. Holy mackerel. I did not know that. I want to see that. And no, I do not support Q, but I do believe the evil of the elite. Brian, thank you for all you do. I have been binge watching your videos and sharing. Thank you again. Thank you, Farrell B. I really appreciate that. Super humbling. 6 Hour Gunner says, home of the brave or home of the cave? Home in the cave. Home of the brave or home in the cave? Truth says, people say they can take rights because of Commerce Clause of U.S. Constitution, Section 361 of the Public Health Service Act, 42 U.S. Code 264. Is this true? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. People can't take... Okay. A man cannot take the rights of another man because 18 USC 242 says that, it's a transgression of deprivation of rights under color of law. A man it's not legitimate for a man to take the right of another man because the Fourth Amendment says that this man has the right to be secure in his person's houses, papers, and effects. This man can't disarm this man because we have a Second Amendment that says the right to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. It's not about what's written down. I don't care about U.S. code. They can flush all that crap down the toilet. This man inherently knows, it's wrong to steal from somebody else. It's wrong to take the rights from somebody else, especially it's wrong to take their rights away and then as an agent of government, sell it back to them, sell back these rights that they already had in the first place. That's wrong. This idea of licensure or having a license, getting a hunting license or a fishing license or a driver's license. We know this is wrong. All we have to do is tap into our humanity. Who was it the other day that said, let's just, it was this right here. It was Dr. Thomas Cohen. He said, all I would ask you guys to do is to tap into your humanity that's already there. Take yourselves out of your uniform. Stop hiding behind your badges. Stop hiding behind your perceived authority. And just do what's right. Tap into your humanity. It's wrong to steal from somebody else. It's wrong to force somebody to do something else against something against their will, without their consent. It's wrong to do that crap that people do to little kids. It's wrong to child traffic. It's wrong to take things that don't belong to you. It's wrong to play the knockout game where you're hitting somebody, a little old lady in the face or in the stomach while she's waiting for the metro to come by. That's wrong. Nobody has to teach you. You don't have to have a Second Amendment or a Fourth Amendment or a U.S. Code, 361 of the Public Health Services, 242 U.S. 264. It doesn't matter. Is it a violation of what you know to be true as a human? I'm talking about objectively, Everybody knows. It's like me and Trish were talking to you the other day. It's like a bird just knows how to just instinctively make that nest for its young. It knows how to sit in that place and lay those eggs. That caterpillar knows how to spin its web and become that chrysalis and then become a butterfly. It just knows. And you just know it's wrong to take something from somebody. It's wrong to violate somebody's will against their consent. It's wrong to act in any other way in any other relationship other than voluntarily. You don't make somebody love you. You don't make somebody give you their money against their will, but government does, and that is what makes government wrong. So yeah, truth. That would be my answer to it. So thanks for the super chat. And Tim 105, thank you guys. I'm super humbled by these super chats. I really appreciate it. It's just I don't even know what to say, man. Anonymous Rebels United 3 says Q is a psychological operation. I agree. It is going into your mind and injecting you with the virus of cognitive dissonance. That's literally what Q is. That's literally what Q does. Okay, it says I'm buffering. Can you guys hear me okay? On my end, it says I'm buffering. It says my elapsed time is still going. Yeah, it's red, buffering. Can you guys hear me? Buffer cops at it again. Yeah, I got a red bar. You can? Okay, 5x5. Wow, I got a red bar and you guys are saying 5x5. I don't know. I have no idea how that works. Mr. Cooper says, simple truth is there's no human being alive now, has lived, or ever will live. Wait. There's no human being alive now, has lived, or will live who is so honest, moral, decent, and good-hearted enough that they are incorruptible by power and or could justly rule over others. I totally agree with you. You're right. Power corrupts, and absolute power corrupts absolutely. And the reason I say that is not because it's a cliche, but because you can see it lived out time and time again. You know what the first thing that happens to somebody when they become powerful? They lose their courtesy for other human beings. They automatically think, and it's all illusory, guys. What is power? It's a construct of your mind. Kings aren't really kings. Queens aren't really queens. Law enforcers aren't really law enforcers. They're just human beings. Politicians aren't special. They're not rulers. It doesn't exist at all. Nobody has a higher claim over your life and property than you. Nobody. It's demonstrable time after time and time after time. And if you don't have legitimate authority over somebody else, then how can you legitimately delegate an authority that you don't have onto somebody else? And how can you get a whole group, a neighborhood of your friends to delegate something that you each individually don't have? It's impossible. There's no logic in it. None at all. It's all a fabrication, a construct of the mind. Truman Show News. Stockholm Syndrome is alive and well in 2020. You better believe it is. Snapzilla Gorilla. I called into ABL's show yesterday, and he had the same excuse for Trump that Brandon did. I told him, even if Trump was a good guy, we still can't rely on him to do jack for us. What can Trump do? I agree, man. ABL, if you're watching this, I do not understand how you cannot be 100% against Trump for signing a $6.2 trillion corporate and banker bailout. Doesn't make any sense. And lead us to the very precipice of Weimar Republic style hyperinflation. I don't understand. I don't get it. I like ABL. I think Brandon Tatum seems like a likable guy. I don't dislike any of these people. Sean might be a good guy, although he has shown some serious venom, and I've shown you that he's shown venom. I don't get it, man. I don't get it. Just seems like people have an axe to grind, and the only axe we should be grinding is the axe of truth. We should be sharpening that axe every single day, and we should be laying it to the root of the tree called the Federal Reserve International Banking Cartel and the IRS, for starters, and Washington, D.C. at the very least. That's just the appetizer for freedom, guys. Just the appetizer. All right, it says I'm going. All right, I'll keep going. Yeah, I agree with you about ABL Snapzilla. Bill and Stacy Walker says, you're not losing, folks. It keeps cutting offline and buffering. Dang, man. I don't get it, guys. I do not get it. It must be my connection. I really don't see this happening on other live streams. And I'm not saying I'm targeted by the U.S. I'll tell you what, I'm speaking so much truth that I'm being targeted by the CIA, and there's black vans and black helicopters flying overhead. Laura Baldwin, thank you. MH, thank you. Mr. Cooper says, Brian, I think the reason you may be losing some people watching is because you keep cutting out bad, and it says live stream offline for 30 seconds. Wow, man. What is wrong with my connection? Yeah, I see that. It says it's buffering. Back at Shamil, we must start using DLive for live streaming. The only problem is nobody watches it. Nobody watches DLive. Back at Shamil, mods, please ask Brian to start using DLive. Yeah, I know what you're talking about, man, but I don't know. I'm going to ride this thing till the wheels fall off. I am on DLive under High Impact Flicks, by the way, and BitChute. All government is deep state. There is no good government. I agree, Farrell B. Laura Baldwin, thank you. Layers of Onion, thank you. Rick's Truth, thanks. Keep fighting and saying the truth, brother. Veronica Walker, thank you. Okay, guys, you got to stop with the super chats here. Veronica Walker, Jeremiah, I appreciate that. James Gregory, you speak truth. Hashtag truck thump and hashtag empty hospitals. Politically incorrect, thanks. Constant buffering driving me nuts. God, man, what is up with this? What is going on? Why is it buffering? I wonder if do I have something open? I wonder if I've got like a separate window open. Let me just close some windows here. I'm just closing a bunch of windows, guys. Let's see. What if I close this whole thing right here? I wonder if I have extended interview with Bill Gates. What's this? Okay, I wonder if it's because I have... Yeah, it's still red, man. What is up? It is still red and buffering like crazy. Okay, I have green right now. Is that better? It says green. Man, let me say this. I appreciate you sticking around. I know it's hard to watch videos that are buffering. So if you guys are still sticking with me through that, hats off to you. All right. What's up, Bam Bam Niner? Let's see. Okay, I'm going back to, okay, James Gregory. Thanks for letting me know politically incorrect. I apologize about the buffering. I don't know why it's doing that. You surely know about BlackRock investments. Yeah, I was talking to somebody about that yesterday. Yeah. Snapzilla Gorilla Brandon is very popular. I did a video on him, and some of his fans came after my little old channel. Of course, they hurled ad hominems. And guys, if you're a Brandon Tatum follower, okay, I'm not against you, and I'm not against Brandon, but I am against his message, and it's very deceptive. You cannot be against tyranny and be for Trump. It's mutually exclusive and diametrically opposed. And I've shown that time and time again. You can't be for bankers and for individual freedoms. So that's my whole thing. Please try to refrain from ad hominems. It's not that it hurts me. It's just that it shows extreme stupidity. If you're using an ad hominem, that's basically a strategy and argument to let everybody who's listening to the argument know that you don't have an argument. So please refrain, for your own sake. Refrain from doing that. You're not going to learn. It'll cement you more in your cognitive dissonance. And for some reason, when people engage in ad hominems, they walk away thinking they've won the argument when they haven't even made an argument. It's amazing. If the truth that I speak is assailable, cast it down. Give me the proof. Give me the evidence. Show me how Trump can sign a $6.2 trillion corporate banker bailout and not be in the back pocket of the bankers. Show me how Trump can be bailed out by Rothschilds Inc. and why you would be against Obama if he was, but you're not against Trump because he is. To the tune, guys, of like $600 million. Like, it's probably over 4.2. I've seen the figure 4.2 billion, and I've seen the argumentation for it. But let's just say it's 600 million. Let's say it's 100 million. Let's say it's 50 million. He's on the hook for that. They don't give you that kind of money and bail you out unless they expect something back. They expect something back. There it goes, buffering again. I just saw the red line come on. And I don't understand because nothing changed. I didn't touch anything. I wasn't clicking on buttons. It's and I have my cell phone off, so nothing's eating up any kind of data that I would have. Crazy. What is going on here? What? No, it's not the weather because the cable's in the ground. Sorry, guys. God, that's frustrating. Wow, that's frustrating. What is going on? Is there a conflict? Says I'm connected. Supposedly, I got a very fast connection. All right. It's still red. Anybody have a suggestion on how I can stop buffering? Sorry, guys. Bam Bam Niner says, should I even say it? Because I don't see anybody. Slow chat. Slow chat. It's not on slow mode. Sorry, guys. 5x5. Okay, and then I'm just going to keep going. I got a red light, a red line. There's a red line all the way across the screen. All right, Bam Bam Niner says, it's cool to go drive through liquor stores, but not drive through church services. Nails get put down in the parking lots and you get forced quarantine. Nails in the parking lot? They're putting nail strips? Is that what you're saying? Signs on your car from the police. It's disgusting. Yeah, you saw what Governor, what's his face? Governor of Kentucky. I can't remember his last name, but he was going to have enforcers. If anybody met in any church services, he was going to have people go and write down license plate numbers and turn them into the health department and have people come to your doors and force you into quarantine for 14 days. Wow. Amazing. Yeah, it is disgusting. I agree with you, Bam Bam Niner. Farrell B says, I think when a lot of people start disobeying, then that's when all these tanks and soldiers will be used. Yeah, man. They are rolling out the MRAPs, the tanks all across this country, and it's just increasing. Those aren't old videos, guys. It's currently happening. What are they using it for? I'd like to see somebody follow it to the end of the line. Where did they start? Where are they offloading these things? I want to know that. Politically Incorrect says, probably lost viewers due to constant buffering. Yeah, I know. Paul Revere says, Battle of Athens, Tennessee. Amanda Lee Marie says, throw their words right back at them. My body, my choice. It actually applies to this situation. Eric Ritchie says, I just started following your channel. Thank you for speaking up and speaking the truth, Brian. Thank you, Eric. I appreciate it. Jack Phillips, love your work. You do. Never give up. James B. 2 Super Chat says, when the power of something overcomes the love of power, I think when the love of power overcomes the love of power, the world will know peace. Yeah, I like, there's something about, as long as there are profits in war, there will be little incentive for peace. As long as there are profits in cognitive dissonance, as long as there are profits in lies, as long as there are profits to be made with stimulus packages, there will never be peace. As long as bankers are in control of the levers of power, remember what Amschel Rothschild said. He said, I don't care who makes the policies of a nation. If I can control a nation's money, I don't care who makes its laws. It doesn't matter to me. I'm sorry for the buffering, guys. I don't even know what to do. It's just ridiculous. Veronica Walker, how do we create a shadow economy that doesn't include the American dollar and big banks, have zero taxable income seen by the IRS, but not really poor? Yeah, I've got the answer to that. I need to do a separate video on it. It's called Goldbacks. Goldbacks. Bam Bam Niner, my internet service told me everything is slow because of the massive internet traffic during this quarantine. Yeah, I've never had this problem before. Christian Sorgi says, thank you for your hard work, Brian, spreading the truth message of liberty. One-way supermarket lanes and live free or die in New Hampshire. Farrell B, why is alcohol essential and seeds aren't? That's a good question. Just making it illegal to buy seeds. Imagine that. Imagine the tyranny. You can't grow. You're locked in your house. You want to start a gardening project. You want to grow your own food because things ain't looking too good. And they don't let you have dirt and they won't let you have seeds. Jeff is here, audits. I hope you and your family are having a great Easter. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. And then Sir Budrick. Shoot. I can't see it because you're the last one. I don't know why it won't show me my last one. That drives me crazy. Okay, Sir Budrick says, where are all the military whistleblowers? Dead. Dead? Question mark. Okay, guys. I wanted to, let's see. Dang it, stop sending super chats, guys. I appreciate it, but geez. B. Pilani says, I would suggest starting a shared centralized database on like a Google Doc where people can connect with each other in their local areas like what Matt Christensen did so we can find others of like mind. Can you... I made you a moderator, Bill. B. Pilani. Can you put an example of that in the chat for us? Just put a link in there. I appreciate it. Rodney, are you asking if I'm fear-mongering? I agree with you. B. Pilani. That would be good to centralize something and have compartments where people can go with their certain areas. Because you know what? It's so hard to get, like, I don't know, maybe a Facebook page or something where you, like in my neck of the woods, they have this something called online garage sale or something like that. Why not have online civil disobedience forum or something, or name it something that doesn't look like disobedience, and just have everybody get together and go, okay, at this certain time, on this day, on Monday, we're all going back to our businesses and we got to have each other's backs. Here's the one emergency number that you can call and we'll all be there to have your back at the law enforcement. That's what we need to do. Schaefer Cox, years ago, Schaefer Cox, before the internet even was really full steam and apps were popular, created this concept where there's this app, and there may be, if you're an app web developer, we need to have an app where we can click on it and it immediately takes it on a screen on our smartphones in our area where if somebody's in, it's kind of like the Amber Alert thing where we get an alert on our smartphone where, hey, I'm at so-and-so furniture shop. The cops have just come here and they're trying to close me down. Can you guys help me out? And then everybody just sends somebody or goes themselves and surrounds all the cops and goes, hey, according to the Fourth Amendment, just use law. Just use their law. According to the Fourth Amendment, we are to be secure in our person's houses, papers, and effects. And this business is this person's livelihood. Please, we appeal to you on the basis of humanity. Don't do this thing. We don't buy into the cerveza bug lie. And we're going to open our businesses and we're not going to stay home. That's what we should do. Have some kind of app web developer develop something. I don't know. It's going to have a whole lot of bugs at first, though. We got to have something now. You know what I mean? That's a great idea, whoever just said that. Because it's going to take, guys, we can't do it in onesies and twosies or tens or 20s or dozens. It's got to be hundreds of us in our respective communities, literally committing, almost like when me and my brothers, you remember we watched Cowboys and Indians and stuff like that, and they would slit, I can't remember if it's their wrist or their hand. We literally cut our hands and did that blood brother thing. It's like, I don't care, dude. I am not just saying this. I don't care if it's 2:00 in the morning. I will join with you. I will have your back, and I got to know that you'll have my back. Call me anytime. When I see that Amber Alert thing, I'm going. I'm there. And then, you could have 5 Amber Alerts going on at the same time. But how many police do you have in your area? Let's say you have 500 of them. Well, if there's 25,000, 50,000 of you in your community, and just 10% of you, 10% of 50,000 is 5,000, come together and just unite and go, no, we're not here for violence, but we are standing up for our rights. And we don't recognize your authority in this matter. We are going broke, and we're not going to go broke. We do not want to stand in a socialist breadline. That's all there is to it. What we could, guys, I am not kidding. We don't have to wait till the 15th. We don't have to wait till April 30th or May 30th. We do it now. Liberty can't wait. People are literally dying, starving. People are at each other's throats because the man, whoever's got the job or the business, the man is not going away to be the breadwinner. He's painted into a corner. He's in a catch-22 situation where no longer is he the breadwinner, but he's holding out his hand for the socialist breadline. Bernie Sanders loves this. Freedom lovers don't. They hate it. Oh my gosh, man. And the internet is like one of the best things that has ever happened to us. And on the other scales, one of the worst things that ever happened to us. But we can really mobilize, man. Comic Collection Agency says a day where we march on our local governments. Yeah, now, today. As soon as business opens tomorrow, we're all going, it's back to business as normal. But you're jeopardizing public health. I don't believe that. You believe that because you believe the government lie. I don't believe that. Jeopardizing government health is what I'm seeing every day as I count the moments where my business is just going under. As they count the moments where all my employees that depend on me to give them a paycheck are going broke. Everybody's living paycheck to paycheck. They're going to have to sell their cars. They're going to be freaking homeless. The middle class is being erased. We got to do something, or we got to do something now. Selena Hayes says, Brian, the man is right. America has so much. I didn't understand this Latin symbolism that you need to be blind not to see what's going on there. The black nobility. I don't understand that. I can't even pay attention to stuff that looks like nonsense. Democrats are a gang who hates those who are not in their gang. Republicans are a gang who hates those who are not in their gang. Democrats and Republicans do not debate, but they do love to hate, lie, and blame. I want to see that. Where's that one thing where they called me a racist for telling Brandon Tatum not to drink the Kool-Aid? Most people don't. Frank Hughes says most people don't accept the fact that absolutely everything is controlled and that they are slaves. There is no hero coming to save you. Stand up and don't be a coward. Be your own hero. Amen, Frank Hughes. Amen, Frank Hughes. Don't wait for a freaking hero. Be your own hero. That's why you want to carry a personal protection device everywhere you go. Not just so you can be the most powerful person in the room, but so you can be the most powerful person in the room. Not just for that, but it's that if you ever encounter a bad guy, you got him because you're the good guy. Don't disarm. Don't disarm. Be your own hero. Be that person who's going to save the people in your community if something goes south. And you're not calling 911. You're calling 357. You're calling 1911. You're calling Glock 22. You're there before the police could ever even get the radio call. Oh, I thought you needed police. Yeah, well, if you want to come, just go ahead and bring a body bag. I already took care of it. Now I got to do my business. I'm here in the grocery store getting food. You want to clean up aisle 5? Be my guest. He left a pretty big mess. I hit him center mass about 5 times. Guess he shouldn't have pulled that gun on everybody, threatening everybody's life. Sorry, I don't do reports. I carry my I just want to be left alone. It's the most ludicrous thing for the government to disarm you, empower criminals, create a victim, create a fish in a barrel zone, and then make you rely on your cell phone calling 911 when you only have seconds to live and the police aren't going to get there for minutes. And usually it's just to write a report. Let's see. I really want to get to the point where this guy called me a racist. Oh, yeah. Here it is right here. Realist B says, you told a black dude he's drinking Kool-Aid, a low-key racist remark, and you expect him to take you serious? You are wild AF. Last I checked, drinking Kool-Aid harkens back to the 1970s. I think it's 1978. Jim Jones, People's Temple in Guyana, where 900 and something people, black and white, drank cyanide-laced Kool-Aid or some kind of Kool-Aid drink and committed suicide because they believed in something that wasn't true. That's all I'm talking about, is buying into a lie. Has nothing to do with the color of anybody's skin. And the fact that you made it racist tells me everything I need to know about you, Realist B. Maybe the Realist B, maybe there's some racist going on there. Because the farthest thing from my mind is the color of Brandon Tatum's skin. Yeah, I can recognize he's a black guy and I'm a white guy. So what? He can call me a hippie or a cracker or whatever. I'm still going to come at him with the truth. You are supporting a tyrant. It's not make America great again. It's make Israel great again. It's make the bankers great again. Make America poor again. Maybe it should be MAPA. Make America poor again. Disintegrate the middle class again. That's what it should be. All right. I think I'm going to... God, I don't want to let you guys down. That's pretty much all I had. Here's the deal. We just got to stand together. I know there are zombies in your town. There's zombies in my town. I know they're probably going to call 911 on you. I personally know somebody who's a 911 operator in another state. And this person tells me that domestic violence abuse calls have gone through the roof to the point of 2 or 3 times larger than the number they usually deal with. There's a reason for that. Do you not think the psychological engineers who foisted all this pervasive bug nonsense knew that was going to happen when you lock people into their homes and you bar them from access from making an honest living? Do you not think that they would know that? Do you not think that they knew that this would drive the suicide rate through the freaking roof? That people would start drinking? They'd be at their wits' end. They don't know what to do. They're at the end of their rope. They start taking drugs, start beating their wives, start being mean to their kids, disintegrating the American family, completely eradicating the middle class. Don't you think they know that? Jeez, man. Yeah, they know it. They have sinister intellect. Don't think these people are stupid. They are absolutely not. But it's not. They don't have wisdom on the good side. They have sinister, dark wisdom. They have all this stuff planned out. They know what you're going to do. They know how to push your buttons. They are masters at psychological operations. They know how to solidify the cement of cognitive dissonance, where you actually hold. You're between two parallels. You're holding on to this. Trump is our savior. I know it's wrong to be for the bankers. Oh God. And then you marry them together and then you become just a freaking hypocrite and they reduce you in your moral stature in society. In reality, that's what they do. You go to the voting booths, you've thrown morality out the window because you are literally saying, I want my ruler to rule over you against your will and without your consent. If you have something to say against it, shut up. That's what democracy is. Benjamin Franklin rightly defined democracy as 2 wolves and a lamb deciding on what to have for dinner, and you're playing party to that game. the two-party system. It's cancer to society. You know how bad a cancer it is to society? Where one day, maybe socialism with the stroke of a pen will be foisted on all Americans, and they'll be forced to stay inside, forced to close their businesses, forced to disintegrate their family, forced to have the middle class completely eradicated off the face of the earth, force them into poverty, force them into homelessness, and then force them into the smart cities with all the smart meters and all the smart surveillance cameras and all the FIVE, 60 gigahertz microwave technology. By the way, let me just say one thing about microwave technology, okay? Don't tell me for a second. I don't know all about it, okay? But I do know what the military says about it. And if what they say is true, it is truly a dangerous, deadly thing that they could turn on anytime for any reason on anybody. 60 to 300 or 450 gigahertz technology, high frequency microwave technology, can be used in something called active denial. I'm not going to pull it up right here, but just look up, Google, or put in a YouTube search, military active denial. They call it a non-lethal system, but when you can shoot a directed energy beam, and you can see the military do it, you can see them admit to it. They'll admit that it's gigahertz microwave technology, same stuff on your microwave, same stuff they're implementing in the FIVE, GEE platforms on all these pods they want to put all around the world. It's mass surveillance, military grade weapons technology, according to them, not according to this conspiracy theorist. By the way, when you call somebody a conspiracy theorist, all you're saying is you don't have an argument against what this person is saying. And you want to disconnect critical thinking. You want to throw away critical thinking. You want to engage in ad hominems, because that's what that is. When you call somebody a conspiracy theorist and you have no basis for saying it other than they're bringing a different thought to your ears that you haven't considered, you're being 100% dishonest in that conversation. You shouldn't even be having it, because you're showing yourself that you do not have an argument. So back to this military grade weapons technology, which is exactly what anything 60 gigahertz and above high frequency technology is. They shoot this directed energy beam from 1,000 meters away, guys. That's a long distance. And it's used for crowd abatement and crowd control. And these people feel the heat to the point where they back up, and it's like, oh God, but it's only non-lethal. Yeah, right. Sure it is. You put those on every light pole in America? I don't think that's such a good idea, do you? Am I making any assertions or objective conclusions? I don't know the first thing except for that about FIVE, GE. I don't know if it's contributing to Cerveza bug. I have no evidence for it. Doesn't look good. It looks like there's a lot of evidence that shows it's pretty harmful to the DNA makeup of human beings. How can it be a good idea when you're literally talking about nano surveillance? They can hone in on a nose hair that you have hanging out of your nose, or that's starting to peek out of your nose. Oh, look at that mole on his this left side of his nostril. Look how many pores he has on his chin. It's just not a good thing, man. Not a good thing. You want to usher in, you don't even have to include the AI hooked up to that, where AI technology is actually learning you as a person and duplicating you in machine form as a person. Holy mackerel, the synchronicity or whatever it's called. Oh God, that's way above my pay grade. But what I do know about it is super scary, man. Oh, you're just fear-mongering. Dude, we got to wake up and smell the coffee, because it looks to me a whole lot like Terminator 3 and Skynet is like looming over our heads. Did you see those drones they were launching? Me and Trish were watching this. It's spraying some kind of disinfectant from the drone, and it's like, where's the stuff coming from? And then it's got those super high frequency things where they're going, in accordance with the CDC, we need you to maintain 6 feet distance for this Cerveza bug. Wow. Unreal, man. Unreal. Okay, guys, you gotta stop the super chats. Richard, wait. Would something like a group alert app work? Yeah, Richard, absolutely. That would be so awesome, man. We got to get that going. I don't have the technical skills to do that, but none of us is greater than all of us. What do you think the most effective way to reach all the sheeple during this time? Also very important to have a dialogue with YouTube influencers. I'm not trying to, I'm glad you said that, Dan Ruck. Thanks, Richard Vizani. I don't want to belabor this, guys. And I hate that this video has gone so long, but I don't want to make an enemy of Brandon Tatum. I don't want to make an enemy of Candace Owens or Mark Dice or SGT reports or X22 reports, but I'm not backing off of the truth, guys. You guys are totally ringing in tyranny under a way more deceptive veil than any Democrat ever could. Democrat, easy. Poop soup, easy. But you're trying to sell us a turd sandwich and trying to tell us that it's, a chicken salad sandwich. It's a lie. It's a lie. And it's just as deadly, if not more deadly, because you're going to reel in more people doing that. That's what I hate about Q. It's this extra layer of CIA covert deception that's just disgusting, man. And I can't believe some people are buying into it because, it seems like Jordan Sather's a smart guy. Amazing Polly. I'm not, it seems like they're intelligent people. Obviously intelligent. X22 report, I just don't get the Q codes. When you can't see the forest for this tree that's standing right next to you, pissing on you in the name of the international bankers, and you're giving Trump a pass going, well, the deep states, got him hoodwinked and the state is so big. No, let's just talk about his own actions. His own tyrannical actions. I like take the guns first, due process second. You should have flipped your lid on that. Oh, he backed off on that. Oh, really? Now we have full-blown socialism? That's not backing off. Give me a break. Schmoove. I'll just call you Schmoove Op. Schmoove Operator. There you go. Schmoove Op R8R. Schmoove Operator. That's a cool handle, man. Got to admit. 18 U.S. Code 242. Yeah, that's deprivation of rights under color of law. But it doesn't matter because they don't care about it. It's like you might as well have not written 18 U.S.C. 242. It's like we might as well not have a constitution. The Constitution is gone, guys. It's gone. 18 U.S.C. 242 is gone. It's gone. They don't care about it. Because we have a cerveza bug. Those things don't matter. You cannot expect to be secure in your person's house of papers and effects right now because we got a cerveza bug roaming the streets. It's going to devour you. Those are all suspended. Insane. Literally insane. Angel for Truth. There comes a time when a populace must stand united and say enough is enough to the government abuses, even if it means getting rid of the political parties in power. Yeah, and the Declaration of Independence puts it this way: dissolve the political bands which have held us, or something like that. Yeah, those political bans should have been dissolved a long time ago. Veronica Wicker says, how can we create our own independent internet? Geez, that would be good too. Yeah, see, the thing is, we just need to operate at a higher level. The problem with government is it's always sticking its dirty nose into everybody's business. It wants to get in on the action. It wants its cut. It wants to eliminate competition. That's exactly what they do. It's like Ron Paul had a sign on his desk years ago when he was in Congress. Don't steal from the government. They hate competition, and it's true. And then they'll turn around and call you a bad guy because you want to keep all of your income, calling you that tax evader. And then all the lemmings around go, tax evader? Oh my God, he wants to keep 100% of his income. Who does that? How do you bring an entire society to look down on a man who just wants to keep 100% of everything he got up at 6 o'clock in the morning to earn to bring home for his family? How can you hoodwink the masses into looking down on any individual who just doesn't want to be stolen from? How? It happens every day, guys. And I've succumbed to it too. Like Wesley Snipes, it's like, oh my God, he evaded taxes. I was brain dead too. The point is just don't stay in that brain deadness. Feed your brain with real knowledge and go, what the hell was I thinking? How could I even possibly think like that? And that's what we have to do is rise above it, have a currency system, a sound money system above it, out of reach where they can't get it. They can't get to it, but somehow they always manage to co-opt something. Like getting in on, like if you're in Bitcoin or Ethereum or some kind of cryptocurrency, they always want their cut, a piece of the action. They want to manipulate it because that's what governments do. They manipulate things and they force you out of it. Because they don't have good, oh yeah, it's such a good idea that we have to make it mandatory. Oh, that's not a very good idea if you got to force people to buy your product. Not a good idea at all. As a matter of fact, when the government gets involved, prices go up and quality goes down every single time. That's why you don't want government health care. You don't want government health care. How much do they spend for a hammer nowadays? It's like $600 for a hammer and $1,200 for a toilet seat and $50 for a roll of toilet paper. That's why you don't want government. The prices get jacked up and the quality goes down. And I can guarantee you it's John Wayne toilet paper too. It's not that Angel Soft stuff. It's John Wayne toilet paper. Why? Because it's rough and it's tough and it don't take crap off nobody. You better believe that if you have John Wayne government approved, government subsidized toilet paper, your butthole is not going to thank you and it's not going to be too happy next time you have to go wipe. Having a VA style rally is tantamount to Chihuahuas thinking they're keeping junkyard pit bulls at bay. My question was more of a kind statement. Much love. Oh, sorry, Beijing King. No. I get it, Beijing King. I appreciate it, man. I hope I didn't. You know how when you write something, the spirit of what you said kind of gets lost in translation. People can read into. I do it. You read something into something, and they entirely didn't mean that. So, yeah, man, I appreciate the criticism you put up there, and I hope you saw my reply. Let's talk, man. I'm open. Richard Vizani says, I just checked Play Store. It might be a workable platform. Let's get it going, guys. Let's get it going. Time for talking. We can talk, but let's get something going. James St. Amour says, I got to find it because you're the last one. James St. Amour says, did you see the video about the cop in the UK who bothered the guy who was gardening with his daughter on his front lawn, snitched on by his neighbors? No, but I've seen... No, but I saw the one in the United States where the guy's playing catch with his daughter in this open field, and the badged enforcers arrested him. It's just pitiful and disgusting and disheartening and everything else in between, man. I mean, if you're normal, I know you're fighting depression right now. I fight it every day. Me and Trish look at each other and, we sit there and we think, how much worse is it going to get before people get motivated to do something, like to fight back, I don't know. I don't know what it's got to get to. Thanks, Reach. Thanks, Reach. I appreciate it. All right, guys, I'm going to end this. I can't believe it's buffering this much. Thank you for sticking out. Thanks for sticking it out and staying with me and just chatting. Any parting words from you guys? Let me see. I'm in the chat right now. Have you read The Creature from Jekyll Island? Yeah, Rick Thomas, George Griffin. That's the first book that I remember reading that opened my eyes to what the hell is going on here. I was reading it going, what? And I don't know about you, but when I was reading Creature from Jekyll Island, I had like 5 pens separating the divisions in the page. And I was earmarking pages, underlining stuff, and I was going back and checking the references and going, what? You got to be kidding me. There's a plaque at Jekyll Island saying the Federal Reserve was born here, and it's just like, Jekyll Island, this is just crazy. The secret train trip with the JP Morgan interest and all that. Yeah, if you guys get a chance to read Creature from Jekyll Island, buy it from J. Edward Griffin. It is worth a read. It's a big, thick book, and it's worth it, man. Rick Thomas, yep. Remove Mark 18 mod wrench. He wants it removed, and he's abusing it. Okay. Hold on a second. Mark 18, if you're out there, I haven't taken your wrench away yet, but man, come on, man. Don't make me do that. I mean, I don't know how you're abusing it, but come on, man. Let's reason together. If you disagree with something, let's talk. Andrew says, if Obama was president, the conservatives would be outraged with what's happening to our country. Absolutely, Andrew. Absolutely. That's why Trump is probably more dangerous. Yeah, I totally agree, man. And Trump is more dangerous because he's more deceptive. Yeah, to the CNN crowd, he's not deceptive. And you got to admit, guys, I hate CNN, the Communist News Network, but Trump cannot stop lying. He will lie. What was he said the other day? Oh, it was in regard to the 10th Amendment. He lied within 10 seconds of something that he just said. The question was about who's the governor of Florida? Rick DeSantis or something DeSantis. Is it DeSantis? Gosh, I'm slaughtering it. It's something like that. Jeez, I every time I get live, if I wasn't live, I would know his name. Somebody give me the governor of Florida's name. Anyway, Trump is up there and he says something about, they say, what do you think about some of these states that aren't enforcing the stay-at-home order? Is it Rick DeSantis? Is it something DeSantis? What's his name? Yeah, just DeSantis. Anyway, they asked him, what do you think about these states that aren't enforcing the stay-at-home order? And he says, well, it's really the governor's job to take care of his own state. Okay, true. According to the 10th Amendment, that right wasn't delegated to the federal bureaucracy. But then he said, but as president, I can override that. I'm paraphrasing. Holy crap, guys. If you know the Bill of Rights, just forget about the rest of the Constitution. If you just know the Bill of Rights, if you know the 10th Amendment, you know for a fact that what he said was a freaking lie and he spoke with a forked tongue. Just like a demon would do. If you have this concept in your mind like a demon, he says the right thing, but immediately says the wrong thing. Nobody catches him on it because CNN cannot say, but that's unconstitutional. They'll do it in hypocrisy sometimes. But what does CNN and MSLSD and any of those networks care about the Constitution? They want to take your right, your freedom to have a firearm away. They want to infringe on your right to keep and bear arms. What do they know about the Constitution? So they're completely hypocritical, but that does not take away the fact that Trump is a freaking liar, like Obama was a liar, like Hillary Clinton can't stop lying. Dude, you got these political parasites up there that hunger and thirst for the ring of power, and they want it. You know why they want the ring of power? Because they desire it. They thirst for it. They hunger for it. They want power and they want influence and they want wealth. They want to be well taken care of and they want to take care of their banker buddies, but they don't want to take care of you. Holy crap, Trump is a liar. And don't call me a libtard because I'm saying Trump is a liar just because I agree with CNN when they say that he's a liar. He's a liar regardless of what CNN says. Let me see. I'll always lose people on that. Let me see. What else? Somebody else did a super chat. Where is it? Yeah. That's a good question, Angel for Truth. Why are abortion clinics more essential than vegetable seeds? Where's the logic? Yeah, you can kill a little human being in the womb, but you can't grow carrot seeds. You can't grow tomatoes and you can't have dirt. Holy crap. Holy crap. That is a sign. That is the sign of a nation that's begging to be destroyed. When you call an essential service the killing of a human being and you leave those mills, I'm not going to say the word because it'll buzz the channel, but you have those human being grist mills open, but you won't let human beings buy seeds and get dirt and grow their own food. It's almost like you're begging, please just nuke us because we don't deserve to live anymore. That is bottom. That's not even bottom of the barrel. That's on the outside, underneath, deep into the ground in the pits of hell type scenario. Schmoove Operator says Hillary will be the Democrat nominee. Not that it matters. Like Trump was the Democrat nominee, but he took his D off and put an R on, Trump is a lifelong Democrat and the Republicans voted for him. That's how easy it is to deceive people, guys. He was a Democrat all his life, best friends with the Clintons. Matter of fact, at a dinner after his inauguration, he had people stand up and give a resounding round of applause, a standing ovation to Hillary Clinton for running a good race. And she's still not in prison. Guys, this is April 12th, 2020, and think about it. Just let this sink in. Trump said, because you'd be in prison. You'd be in prison if I was president. He's been a president for almost 4 years, 3.5 years now, and the Clintons still aren't in prison. Let it sink in. Let it sink in. Brian, but you don't understand. Stop making excuses. Let it sink in. But he has other things. Let it sink in. The Clintons According to reports, allegedly, the Clintons are not very kind people. Allegedly, there's a high Clinton body count. Allegedly, there's a lot of evidence for that. Allegedly, the leader of the free world isn't doing a damn thing about it. Why? Because they're buddies, and that's what you do for your buddies. You give them a pass when you become president. Don't give me that Trump's not on their side, man. It's a joke. That's what makes you guys a joke, SGT reports. That's what makes you a joke, Q. That's what makes you a joke, Anonymous. That's what makes you a joke, X22 or SGT or Brandon Tatum or all you guys who want to schmooze up to the banker bot puppet. There were a couple pretty damning pictures that I didn't put in my last video where he's touching that globe with the Saudi prince, where he has the sword with the Saudi prince, where he's bowing down to the Saudi prince as the Saudi prince is putting that gold chain around his neck. Don't give me that. Don't give me Trump is for you when he's getting the accolades from all these frickin' Satanists. He's not in your corner. And he proves he's not in your corner. You don't have to resort to ad hominems about that. I think, is it still connected? Okay, good. Yeah, it's barf, man. Here, I'm going to put that up. Let me see. What are we on here? Guys, don't forget, I uploaded this, I'm going to refresh this, see if anybody's even looked at it. I have a video that I did that is exclusive. It's a BitChute exclusive right here. It's Dr. Thomas Cowan systematically decimates the Cerveza bug lie. It's fantastic. It's well worth a watch, guys. Well worth a watch. I'm going to send that out in my newsletter report tonight. If you're not on my newsletter, go to my website, highimpactflix.com. My admins, please put that link in the chat box, highimpactflix.com, and sign up to my newsletter. If you sign up in the next hour, you will get it tonight. Oh, you have to, when you sign up, you got to double confirm because I'll auto send you an email and you got to probably find my email in your spam folder and then mark it as not spam. And then you're in, you'll get my free ebook and all that kind of stuff. Everything that I send in my email thing is free. So it's not going to cost you anything. It's just a way for us to keep in touch in case the Google Thought Police decides to cut off my channel and now we don't have a way to communicate. That'll be the way we communicate. And then I'll be uploading exclusively on the BitChute platform. And that's how I'll send you the videos. So I'll send this out on the newsletter tonight. Guys, don't get the BitChute link and put it in the chat room because I don't want it anywhere on YouTube at all. They're actually using links to outside platforms to take channels down and demonetize and all that stuff. What was I going to? Oh, yeah. Yeah, you want to see something embarrassing? You want to see something embarrassing? Obama did this. Trump did this. Look at this. Look at this pitiful nonsense. Tell me, look at this embarrassing picture and tell me this guy is Make America Great Again. He's make the Saudi prince great again. He's make OPEC great again. He's make Israel great again. Make APAC great again. He's make the international banking cartel great again and the IRS great again. But he doesn't give a damn about you. Look at this. Yeah, I could put Obama up here or Bush before him. They all bow to the Saudi prince. This is their little open. Look, here's Obama bowing to him. Here's Obama bowing down to the Saudi prince. You're against Obama when he bows down to the Saudi prince, but for some reason you just can't find it in you to be against Trump for that. That's because there's a moral issue inside of you. You have cognitive dissonance that you can't shake. Look at Melania, former, I don't know if she's a porn star, but I mean, Melania, come on. Come on, guys. You got to be kidding. You were hoodwinked this easily by Donald Trump and Melania. These people just going out of their ways. They're going out of their way to bow down to royalty. Look at this. Here he is with the sword dancing. You should see the video. It's embarrassing. Look, oh, here's the globe thing. Here's the globalist thing. Oh, Trump's not a globalist. He's not a politician. He's a businessman. Okay. Keep deceiving yourselves. Keep deceiving yourselves. Leave Melania out of it. Melania is just as much in. Melania is in on trying to getting you to stay at home. I'm putting Melania in it. Melania is a very smart person. She knows 5 languages, right? I'm not speaking against her character. I'm talking about her massive deception. She's part of the propaganda campaign. She's allowing herself to be used as a puppet to tell Americans to stay locked up in their houses while they're going hungry, while they have to force a catch-22 situation to be in a American socialist breadline. I'm not letting anybody off the hook. Look at this. Dancing with the sword. Oh, isn't life great? This is great. I'm not letting Melania off the hook. Yeah, she looks nice and she comes off as all demure and stuff like that. I don't buy it, man. I don't buy any of that stuff. Look at this. Oh, come here, Saudi prince. Can I lick your feet? Look at these generals bowing. Look, here's all the way back to Roosevelt. Look at Roosevelt puppet. Look at this. Aren't you against Roosevelt for paying homage to Saudi princes? Then why wouldn't you be against this right here? Why the hell wouldn't you be against this? Look at Obama. Look how embarrassing this is. Where's Obama getting the Saudi thing? Let's just look at these pictures. Tell me you're proud. Tell me that's Make America. How does that equal Make America Great Again? This is make the petrodollar great again. Hey, how can we work a deal in Afghanistan where we can strengthen the narco dollar? How do we do this? Look at this. Oh, here we go. Here's Trump bowing down. There's Obama bowing down and getting his little Saudi prince reward. And there's Bush W getting his award. How's that for equal opportunity groveling at the feet of a Saudi prince? Make America great again. I'm shocked beyond belief that people are still in the tank for these jokers. Shocked. Look at this. I know people like Melania. You guys, should I show you the propaganda campaign that they got Melania doing? Stay in your homes. Wear your masks. I shouldn't have said it like her dialect, because I don't care how people sound. It's what they say. It's what they're trying to force on the American people. In the name of freedom, they're securing your bondage to tyranny and despotism, utter despotism, ruining business, erasing the middle class. I don't care who it is. Knock them down. Knock them all down. Knock them down with truth. You're either for truth or you're against it, period. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. You guys can say whatever you want to about me, but you have to face the fact that you're the one that has to wrestle with logic. You're the one that has to wrestle with morality. You're the one that has to wrestle with consistency and rightness versus wrongness. Can't stop Shane. Man, thanks, man. Jeez. Guys, stop with the super chat. Seriously, I really appreciate it. I'm not saying that with any disrespect, but I really appreciate it. Big fan. I would love to go live with you. I want to know what we're supposed to do about taking down these evil people to end this. People feel like Trump is our last hope for justice. If it doesn't happen, then what are we supposed to do as a society? Well, we got to know. Sorry, but I keep burp. I don't know why I burp. I was shoveling food in right before I went live, so I got all this air in my stomach. What we do is God, man, we have to break through to our communities, people we know and rub shoulders with every day, like the human to human contact. The hurdle is not about convincing psychopaths. It's not about convincing the policymakers and the lawmakers. It's about the everyday people that you meet every day. Trish and I were talking about making flyers and just going to, Walmart and stores that are open, so wait outside of CVS or Walgreens or whatever, and just passing out flyers saying, I got to formulate something that's really short because what am I trying to say? I just lost my train of thought. What is it? What is it when you can't pay attention? Attention span. That's it. Attention span. Like mine. See, I just demonstrated that and didn't even know it. People's attention span is so short. They need bullet statements like COVID-19 is a lie, but then tell them why it's a lie. Your government lied to you about Vietnam, the Korean War, World War I, World War II. 58,000 people died in Vietnam because of the Gulf of Tonkin. It's just too in depth. It's too intense. It's too much for people to take in. How can we just summarize it? COVID, cerveza bug is a lie. There is no danger. Influenza is far more virulent. You never wore a mask for TB or for bird flu or H1N1 or Zika virus or the West Nile virus or Ebola. But you are now? How come? Where's the proof that cerveza bug is even real? And then just like open their minds, because if you don't have at least 10 or 20% in your community on the board with you, it's going to be easy to pick us off one by one. So there has to be some way, like we were talking about earlier, having an app where you can, put out like an Amber Alert thing and say, hey, I'm at, Buffalo Barbecue, whatever the private shop is that you have, and they're really giving me a hard time. Could you guys send like 10 or 15 or 50 people? It'd probably be better to have 50 to 100 people standing around, no violence. Just, hey, leave this person alone. We don't consent. We don't recognize any legitimacy from you. This guy's not doing anything wrong. Oh, yes, he is. He's putting lives in danger. Well, that's your opinion, but that's not our opinion. So your opinion doesn't trump our opinion. And that's all it is at this point. Johns Hopkins numbers, we've already blown that out of the water, guys. They themselves admit that those numbers are freaking fixed. And yet, what do you see on CNN and MSLSD and Fox News every single day? That number, that cerveza bug death map fear porn number, that red number with all those red dots just expanding in your face. We got to tell you how dangerous it is. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You can count on us, boy, for your daily fear porn. Crazy, man. So that's what we got to do, man. I hope I answered that question. Can't stop Shane. It comes to, I hate the term grassroots because it almost reminds me of AOC or Bernie Sanders. We got a grassroots campaign. Oh God. But it is kind of like that, grassroots. eKid 3000, what do we do? Well, unfortunately, the truth is there's only one way to do this. And until the people wake up and see that, then nothing is going to change. And you know what that way is. Yep. You guys know what that way is. I cannot say that on this platform. It might be even iffy to say it on the BitChute platform, but there's a 1 in it, and there's a 7 in it, and there's a 7 in it, and then there's a 6 in it, if you know what I mean. Frank says, Brian, been listening to you for years, but I think we're fighting a spiritual battle much higher than your libertarian beliefs, biblical times, my friend. This is a struggle for morality, guys. Religion is a sensitive topic for me because logically speaking, you got your Muslims, you got the Muslims believing one thing, you got the Jews believing another thing, you got Christians believing another thing, and everybody's saying their God is the best God and their holy book is the best book. Spiritual or whatever. Yeah, there's something beyond what we can see. And I'm one of those people where look at your hand. I'm one of those people where I'm not sitting here as a denier of some kind of higher power or some kind of fantastic, undescribably wonderful, like creator type. I don't know if it's a being or a force or an entity or whatever, but all you got to do is look at your hand and look, my brain waves that you can't even see are going to literally move my pinky. You can train your hands to play the piano or to do open heart surgery or to write a love letter or to caress your loved one or to, help a little kid up after you skin his knee, or you can use this hand to end somebody's life. And the neurons and the bones and ligaments and sinews and how this happened, there's no way you can logically say that time times chance times nothing equals this, or the intricacy of your eye or your circulatory system or the miles and miles of neurons that have to fire for me to be able to talk. And you guys receive these waves through this technology that we somehow set up, and it's going, you guys are thousands of miles away. Some of you in distant lands, some of you it's morning time, some of you it's nighttime, some of you it's afternoon, wherever you are on the planet. How does all that happen and they're not be some master designer, some master planner? I'm not an atheist because I believe there's something that you absolutely cannot see, that you absolutely cannot explain, that completely had everything to do with matter and antimatter and neurons firing and electrons swirling that you cannot even articulate. There's no way. And that's another thing, articulation. How can I even speak English? And you guys who speak English and understand English can understand me. And then people are bilingual, and then there's Spanish, and there's Chinese, and there's Japanese, and there's different writings. That doesn't just happen. I'm not satisfied with the evolutionary explanation of that, which is no explanation at all, which is literally, if you were to boil it down, time times chance times nothing equals everything. Oh yeah, all of a sudden there was nothing, and then there was something. No way. No freaking way. Where can you point to on this planet that something like that happens? You got all these different species of bugs. Like, you know how many different kinds of ants there are? How many ants are on the planet? I don't know, but somehow they're surviving without my influence. There's stuff that I don't know about. There's animals that they find that are bigger than, just 100-pound animals that they're just now discovering. That's how little we know about the earth, let alone whatever's out there. What are stars? I don't know. What's the sun? How far are we away from it? How do we know? I don't know, man. It's fantastic stuff. So yeah, I know, Frank, I know there's something beyond what we can see. I'm not saying that there's not. And I would be a liar if I was sitting here telling you I got everything figured out. The more I know, the more I realize I don't know crap. Nothing. Mauricio says, there's only one truth, and that is Jesus. See, I don't know that. I can't prove that. I have no evidence to support that. I know what people say. There are people who say Jesus didn't exist. Well, how can they prove that? I can't prove that he did. Only one God died for sins. I don't know that. It is appointed for man to die once, then judgment. I know men die. I can see that. I can prove that. There's evidence for that. Jesus is returning soon. Brian, look at the signs, man. I love you, bro. Hey, I love you back, man. I don't agree with you, but we can talk about it. I just don't see the evidence. And then how does a Muslim prove that his holy book is better than your holy book? And then how does a Christian prove that his holy book is better than the Jewish holy book? You got the 39 books in the Old Testament and the 27 books in the New Testament. How do you know when you crossed over or if you did cross over? You got 40 different authors over a 1,500-year period of time from Genesis to Revelation saying all these things, writing in Greek and writing in Hebrew. And then you got Qumran Cave 4 where this shepherd boy blew through this rock and it hit this pottery. And then we find the Dead Sea Scrolls, and then it lines up with the 1611 King James Version. Well, how do we know that King James didn't leave some stuff out? How do we know that King James didn't add stuff to it of his own liking? He is a king. They do tend to do that kind of thing. So, I just got a lot of questions, haven't arrived at any kind of answer. I'm familiar with, with a lot of stuff. Maybe I don't know, maybe it's to my detriment to be familiar with some of this stuff because, I haven't really figured stuff out. But that's where I'm at, man. And I'm just being honest about it. I'm not a King James was a Mason. I don't know. How do you prove that? The King James Bible was literally, it was commissioned by like 100 different scholars, and it was like it came into being officially. How do we even know that? In 1611. So a lot of people don't even know what happened last week and can't even properly report it. CNN can't even get a right report from what happened 24 hours or 5 hours ago. How the hell do we know that King James was a Mason? I don't know. Anything you believe about history is just that. It's just belief. Oh yeah, George Washington went across the Potomac with his troops. Okay, I know you say that, and I guess I don't have to believe it, but I can choose to believe it or I can choose to not believe it. How do you prove it? You can't. You really can't. You have to be honest. You really can't prove it. King James didn't write the KJV Bible. He did commission its writing according to the story. I sound like your brother. Shmoov Operator says, who owns the publishing company that published the Bible? The same people that own us tax cattle. And how do we know that the dark powers that exist today that are foisting all this evil on the earth aren't the ones aren't the ancestors of the ones or the beings of the ones who actually wrote the Bible, like Revelation, and are actually fulfilling their own prophecy. Hey, let's write what we're going to go ahead and do. That's another alternative. I'm not saying that's how it is. It is an opinion, and it is a possibility that the ancestors of the people who wrote the Bible and said all these things are going to happen are the descendants of the people who are going to make it happen because they knew some kind of technology was going to be around. That's just a way of looking at it. History is written in books by mankind. Yeah, that's another thing. Like, history is written by the victor. If a certain nation wins, then their historians get to write how the history went. Whereas it could have been completely the exact opposite. Like, when was the last time you read in any history book in public education that the Federal Reserve took control of the monetary system in 1913 and completely co-opted Congress, the Congress and the Senate houses? I never read that. Not in public school. I'm trying to read and think at the same time. Not in public school stuff. Curriculum. That's what I was trying to say. So yeah, I cannot sit here and go, okay, if you're a Christian or a Jew or a Muslim, basically you have to just believe. Believing is not knowledge, because if it was knowledge, it wouldn't be belief. And because it's belief, it's because it's not knowing. It's not a knowing. Even doesn't Hebrews 11:1 say something like, oh man, it's been a long time. Hebrews 11:1 says something like, faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. That doesn't make any sense. Evidence of things not seen, then you don't have the evidence. If you didn't see it and you can't prove it, then you don't have evidence. The Mormons talk about a burning in your bosom. Well, anybody could have that. Somebody who ate beef ravioli could have a burning in their bosom, but it's not because it's wrought by anything spiritual. It's because you got indigestion. Jehovah's Witnesses try to convince you that they're the premier Christian church on the earth, and there's 144,000 of them, but by golly, they're Jehovah's Witnesses and they come out of the Kingdom Hall. It's like, okay, where do you prove that? You just believe that. You don't know that. You're just taking a man's word for it. So it gets real confusing and real muddled. And then you have all these divisions within Christianity. The Church of Christ go, oh, the Baptists are going to hell because they have music. And the Baptists go, oh, you're going to hell because you don't believe in once saved, always saved. To me, it's a cesspool of confusion, man. It's a cesspool of confusion. And then some people criticize you as a Christian because you don't read the authorized King James Version. If you read in the New International Version or the New King James Version, then you're reading something that's spurious and you're reading the Satanic Bible. It's like, oh my God, I can't even win. I'm a Christian, but this Christian's calling me a Satanist. And I just got to take your word for it that I'm not supposed to read the New International Version? Or they used to call it the nearly inspired version when I was in Christianity. It's like, holy mackerel. See, how do you prove that, live music? Jesus is the only truth. What if it's a guy named Pat? What if Pat is the only truth? What if, even worse, what if a guy named Ralph is the only truth? What if it's really Ralph? Well, there are probably people who follow Ralph and they really believe Ralph died for their sins. But how do you prove that? Yeah, you believe Ralph died for your sins, but how do you prove it? Oh, I have a holy book. Look. Yeah, but that's not, that's, you can't use that. Look, my holy book says Ralph is the savior, but that's not evidence. Yeah, you're believing that's evidence, but it doesn't, just because you believe it's evidence doesn't make it evidence. Because the Muslims do that. They go, look, the Holy Quran. You have to believe the Holy Quran. And Muhammad is the prophet. It's like, okay, well, what if I don't believe that? No, you have to believe that because that's what our faith is. Yeah, but I'm not picking up what you're laying down. I'm not buying that. That's what I'm saying is everybody can, yeah, they say it's the Quran, but you Christians say, no, it's not the Quran, it's the Bible, but you don't have any more proof than they do. So now you're in a shouting match, and then there's all these wars, and then they start the Crusades, and a whole lot of people start dying because you don't believe like I do. And yeah, of course I can't prove it. It's by grace you've been saved through faith, and that not from yourselves. It's the gift of God. You just got to take my word for it. Which God? Is it Allah, or is it God the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit? Is it the Catholic God? No. They're Satanists. Look at all their idols. You can't have idols. Yeah, but you guys believe in once saved, always saved, and they're against you because they don't believe in once saved. It's like, they believe in predestination. That's where I'm at, guys. I'm being totally honest with you. Thanks for I can't believe that 1,451 of you guys are still listening to this, but I mean that's where I'm at right now. Bible equals depopulation for dummies, says Schmoove operator. I wouldn't. I'm not going that far, man. People have their own beliefs, and I'm not, guys. I'm not downing you for believing what you're believing. All I'm saying is step back and go, okay. The only reason I believe this is just because I chose to believe it. If you grew up in India, dang it, you got a 90% likelihood that you'd be a Hindu. No way, I'd be a Christian because no. You can't even say that. You don't know what you would be. But if you look at reality and how things really played out, 90% of the time you'd be a Hindu or you'd be a Muslim if you grew up in India or if you grew up anywhere else in America. And there's certain places in America where there's no way you'd be a Christian, you'd be a Jew. You'd be going to, the temple and all that kind of stuff. So you got to admit your religion is a belief. It's a construct of belief. You've chosen to believe it, but you could have easily believed something else. No, I couldn't have because God led me. Yeah, that's what you believe. You don't know God led you that way. All you know is what is now, and what is now is that you believe. You don't know. You don't know what's going to happen to you. Yeah, I know you're going to go to heaven or hell. No, you really don't. You believe because of what you heard. If you never heard that, then you could never believe it because you've never experienced it. You have to admit that if you didn't have the Bible or you didn't have the Quran or you didn't have the Hindu Bhagavad Gita, you wouldn't believe in any of those holy books because you wouldn't have known they existed. Yeah, God would have led me. No, you don't even know that because you wouldn't have known that there was a God. You have to be honest. You've got to be honest. Yeah, I don't believe Cerveza 19. For people, the reason that's why people get hoodwinked so easily. People are literally in their houses. They're literally going broke. They're literally standing in socialist breadlines because they literally believe. They don't know. They just believe what the government and mainstream media told them. They just believe. That's all it is. It's a construct of belief. And it could be true and it could be false, but you don't know unless you can prove it. We can prove Cerveza Bug is a lie based on their own words. Inconsistent words, hypocritical words, throwing numbers into the CV19 count that don't belong there. By their own words, by the CDC's own admission. Watch Europa: The Last Battle. People keep saying that. Is that a movie? Is Europa: The Last Battle a movie? You know how many people have said that to me in the last 2 weeks? I'm not kidding. At least 5 people have messaged me. Okay, that must be a sign. Signs everywhere, signs. Corey Culberson says, watch Europa: The Last Battle. All right. I'm taking a hint from something. From Corey. Corey Culbertson says, watch Europa: The Last. Corey, it better be good. I'm coming to find you if it's not good. Europa: The Last Battle. I don't know what that is. Let's see. I can't afford to tell you how I became a Christian after being agnostic for so many years, but after 17 years in the music industry, I just kept digging. Yeah, but I did that for a long time too. I just can't. I could not say that I knew for sure when I don't have evidence. I don't have an argument. I didn't have an argument. Can't tell you that Jesus is the only way, truth, and life. I can tell you from everything that I've experienced, and if you just take logic, it's like you don't see a Nissan Sentra going down the road and go, man, that thing just popped into existence. Look, the wheels are in the perfect place. The drive shaft, it's firing on all the cylinders it should. It uses gasoline the way it should. The headlights work. All the electronics are, and it just happened, man. That's so foolish. Nobody would ever dream to say that, but people can look at the human body and how a little baby grows inside the mother's womb, and it has everything that it needs, and a high percentage of the time, everything works out okay. You've got lions in the grass giving birth to the lion cubs, and zebras and jellyfish. And just how does all that happen, man? That's amazing. Amazing. There ain't no way there's evolution is a frickin' scam, man. From the word, and then they go 4.5 billion years ago. How do you know that, David Attenborough? You got to be what are you on mushroom? You eating those mushrooms you keep walking on in every episode? Give me a break, man. 4.5 billion years ago. You can't carbon date something. That's another thing with carbon dating. It's not an exact science. They've carbon dated live turtles and they turned out to be like 5,000 years old. Maybe there's a more exacting science now, but geez. Give me a break. Don't tell me. To me, evolution is a religion. The teaching of evolution and the Darwinian theory, that's a religion. It's like, just take my word for it. It's 4.5 billion years. I mean, I'm not kidding. It's it's not 4.1. It's not 4.1 and a half. It's not 3.7. It's 4.5 billion years ago. The earth just, the Big Bang, Come on. Get on board with me. I'm sorry. I don't buy that. That's gibberish to me. I don't get it. It's a construct of belief. All right, man. I don't know. Evolution is a hoax. Dinosaurs are fake. Never heard that one. Gosh, I've seen those. What, are the bones not real? What? Because I've touched them. I've touched those bones. They seem like bones to me. I guess they could be plaster of Paris or something. I don't know. You can do a lot of stuff with epoxies these days. And maybe they could back in the 1940s. I don't know. Yeah, religion. I agree. Viking King, religion is a huge farce because it's based on snake oil salesman type tactics. Just take my word for it. I'm Smedley Snodgrass, and this elixir will heal you right up. Okay, Smedley Snodgrass, I believe you. I can't prove it, but okay, here we go. It's like, believe me, Muhammad 600 years ago decided to start his own. And by the way, have you read the story of Muhammad? I mean, I got to be careful about what I say here, but he was messing with kids. He married a kid. That's not good. I mean, like, why would you continue to propagate that? It looks really bad. So if that story's true, there's some bad stuff going on there. I got to leave it at that. Look at Wilson going, Brian, you have to watch Europa the Last Battle. Okay, I wrote it down, guys. All right, I wrote it down. Europa the Last Battle, okay? It better be good, Wilson. Wilson! Wilson! I'm coming after you if it's not good. Babe, you're watching Europa the Last Battle with me tonight. You got that? Hey, woman. I don't talk like that to her. I speak in words of love. Schmove over, stop. Dude, stop giving me money, man. The Bible is predictive programming. I can't disagree with that. The Quran is predictive programming. Anything that says, just take my word for it. Just believe me. I'm from the government. I'm here to help. Oh yeah, like I believe that. It's anybody who comes to you. I don't care what religion it is. If it's the religion of evolution, the religion of Darwinism, the religion of its 4.5 billion years, the religion of Islam, the religion of the Hindus, the religion of Christianity, the religion of the Jews. It's predictive. I don't know. It's program. It's definitely an operation, a psychological type operation, because basically it's saying, okay, you know that critical thinking that I asked you to have? Yeah, well, go ahead and suspend that and just believe that Allah is the supreme and Muhammad is his prophet. Sorry, I can't do that. Sorry. Believe on Krishna and you shall be saved. Sorry, I can't do that. Get in the lotus position and meditate with me and get in touch with your higher. I'm sorry, I can't do that. I think there's benefits in like getting into a quiet place and looking in and going, okay, I don't know who you are that made my hand. I don't know who you are that made my eyeball or gave Trish the wisdom and knowledge that she has swimming around her head because she's a highly intelligent individual. I don't know who did this, but like whatever your name is, he, she, it, whatever, like I thank you because I'm not keeping my heart beating right now. I've seen people just drop dead, like basketball players in the prime of their life or somebody who's really in good shape. They drop dead. I'm not keeping myself alive, so something or somebody is. So whoever you are, God, thank you. God or whoever, thank you. I don't know why we say the word God. Well, where did that ever happen? And I'm not trying to talk anybody out of what you believe, but I'm just asking you to question what you believe and why you believe. And you have to face the fact that the only reason you believe it is not because you know it, not because you've seen evidence or there's proof, man. Not I believe it's proof. There's proof. You don't have proof. You have belief. It says it's by grace you've been saved through faith. That's belief. That's just trusting. It's not you've been saved through evidence. You've been saved through faith, and not from yourselves. It's the gift of God. So, that's what it says in the Bible, right? There's this website called the Spaghetti Monster, and it's just it's ridiculous, but it proves a point that you could say anything. I serve the spaghetti monster in the sky, and it's like, okay, you do you, I'll do me, but I don't believe in your spaghetti monster in the sky. But he has meatballs, and his meatballs can see you wherever you go. It's like the Santa Claus thing. People are lying to their kids left and right, and their kids were taking their parents' word for it and getting decimated on the truth scale. It's like, he knows when you are sleeping. He knows when you're awake. He knows when you've been bad or good. So be good for goodness sake. It's like, that's kind of scary. You mean when I go into my room and close my door, my Santa Claus knows what I'm thinking? He knows when I'm awake. He knows if I've been bad or good. Holy God. Oh my God. This is stressful for a 5-year-old. I better be good for goodness sake. It's just like a manipulative tactic. It's just like, take our word for it. There is a Santa Claus. He does live in the North Pole. He is surrounded by elves. They are making toys and you ain't getting them if you're a bad boy. Oh, and by the way, his sled is being led by reindeer. The supreme witch has a nose that lights up Santa's way. And he lands on roofs, and he weighs about 350 to 500 pounds. Well, by now it's probably 700 because he's into trans fats. And he's going to slide down your chimney, eat our cookies, drink our milk, and leave us with a sack full of presents. Oh, and did I tell you about? I mean, seriously, that's what I see when people are telling me about their religion. Mr. Cooper says, "Hey Brian, if I correctly understand what you're not saying, you didn't do." During shifts at your old job, that was a great thing you did or didn't do. I hope that didn't expose you to legal trouble. Get out of here, man. That was pretty funny, though. That was Mr. Cooper. All right. You guys got to stop doing the super chat thing because I got to wrap this up. All right. Have I hit all the super chats? Key Marshall says, you are so close to the truth yet so far. What truth? And Pilate came to Jesus and said, what is truth? And truth stood in his very face. According to the story, like I know that's what the story is, but how can you prove that there was a Pontius Pilate? How can you prove that there was a Jesus of Nazareth? How can you prove his mom was Mary and his dad was named Joseph and that he was immaculately conceived? How can you prove that? You have to be honest, guys. All I'm asking you to do is be honest. I can't prove that. I just believe it. And based on that belief, I'm a Christian. You have to admit that. It's not based on fact. I know this is going to piss people off because long held, like two things you're not supposed to talk about. One thing in my channel is about is politics, religion and politics because it pisses people off. It slaps them on the forehead and their cognitive dissonance takes over. And it's like, how dare you slam my religion? It's like, well, it's kind of just your belief, You would think that I was insane if I told you that I serve the purple people eater God and he wears a polka dot belt and he's got a beard and one eye and a cleft lip. And he talks to me every night. And we have a scripture called the Purple People Eater Bible. And it's got 39 books in the old Bismarck and 27 in the new Bismarck. And you'd be like, what's a Bismarck? It's like, oh, that's his promise to us. It's his promise that he'd send his purple people eater cousin to eat SpaghettiOs for 3 days and then save it. You'd be like, what the hell are you talking about? Where did you even conceive that idea? Oh, I go to the Purple People Eater Church, and we sing hymns to him. You'd be like, what the? Okay, based on what do you follow the Purple People Eater? Because I believe he's going to come down one day, and you'll see, because you're going to stand before him, and he's going to grab you in his fuzzy claw, and he's going to hold you up to his one eye and his goatee as he's teetering on his peg leg, and he's going to look you in the eye, and he's going to say, eat spaghetti with me or die. And you're going to be like, dude, I don't even know what to say to you, because you're pulling that out of your ass. It's like, no, I'm not pulling it out of my ass. I just believed what he pulled out of his ass. You have to be honest about that. All I'm asking you to be is honest. It's a big shopping club and you ain't in it. Faith, 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 not fables and fairy tales. But you have to understand, what's the difference between Santa Claus, the Easter Bunny, and Muhammad? I cannot prove that any one of those exists. That's the point. But we have writings, but you could say that about Santa Claus. There's tons of writings and songs. There are hymns to Santa Claus. You can't prove that Mary existed. You literally can't. But there's archaeological finds, but you have to believe the archaeologists who had a bent toward Christianity or had a bent toward Islam or they had a vested interest in saying what other people wanted to hear. You really cannot prove it. I'm out of here. This guy's a freaking atheist. No, I'm not, because I do believe that there's a design which necessitates, it seems, the existence of a designer. Yeah, that's true, Wave Slave. That's my point. That's my point. You have to admit that it's belief. There are certain things that all of us believe that have nothing to do with religion. I believe, but you have to choose to believe it. You know what I mean? And you have to be willing to look inside and go, okay, the only reason I'm holding on to this is because I choose to have faith in it. That's it. I'm willing to open this. Hey, you know what I'm willing to do? We could have a completely separate live stream on this where we have a whole panel of a whole bunch of different people just talking about this one thing. I would love to get a Muslim in there, a Jew, a Christian, a Hindu. That would be very interesting. Because essentially, think about this. You're an atheist. If you're a Christian, you're an atheist from the perspective of a Muslim because you don't believe they call Allah, the true and living God, and Muhammad, his prophet. Allah is the God, not the father of Jesus. Jesus they call as one of the prophets. That's their belief. But you could say, well, that's a belief based on nothing because my book puts them to shame. It's like my book is better than your book. It's like being a child on the playground. My dad can beat up your dad. Well, you'll never really know until those two dads meet and they start throwing fists. You'll never really know because the rest of it's a construct of belief. But at least the dads are real. You can prove they exist. But you cannot prove that your God is better than Allah. The Bible God, you cannot prove that, and you can't prove that Allah is better than the other God, or that Krishna beats them all. You really can't, or Vishnu, or, and then, God, just this whole conglomerate. I grew up Catholic, but I saw through real quick that, wow, this is a real creepy thing that we got going on here, Dad and Mom. Catholicism is just a real creepy thing, man. Whoa, all the chanting. Give me a break. What gives on this? What's the point of having mass in Latin when I speak English and don't understand a lick of Latin? That doesn't make any sense. Why are we doing this? Let's get an honest answer. When are you going to cut your hair? Why do people care what other people look? When are you going to shave your face? When are you going to cut your hair? You look effeminate. Okay. All right. That's fine. Ducapas 203. Thanks, man. All right. I can't believe 1,320 people. You guys got to be getting sick of me talking. I can't go on anymore. Don't cut your hair. It's your strength. Brian looks like a young George Carlin, babe. Viking Max says that. It's a big club and you ain't in it. Viking Mac, Brian looks like George Carlin. Quit it, man. Quit it. Leave the hair. Here, kitty, kitty says. Yeah, kitty, 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 kitty. Why do people call cats like that? My mom did it. I did it. You know, probably her mom did it. What's the here, kitty, kitty? If you never heard that, how would you call a cat? If you never heard here, kitty, 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 how would you call a cat? Hey, cat. Because you would never think to say here, kitty, kitty. But somebody coined that first. And it stuck. How did that stick? Like skater pants? How did those catch on? Or parachute pants? Who started that? All these fads and stuff that we slip into, things that we say. Watch Zeitgeist. I don't like Zeitgeist, man. I that thing didn't sit well with me at all. I mean, there's some interesting things that he brought out, but Paul, with whatever his name is, it was kind of creepy to me. Something didn't sit well with me on that Zeitgeist thing. Jesus had long hair. No one told him to cut his, not even his father. Where's the proof of that? Because Jacob, I am so glad you said that. Jacob Sigler says Jesus had long hair. Where does it say that? Oh, because he was a Nazarene or Nazarite. Well, a Nazarene is not a Nazarite, and Samson was a Nazarite and took a Nazarite vow to not have a razor touch his head. A Nazarene is not a Nazarite. And it doesn't say that Jesus took a Nazarite vow. And besides that, we don't even know what Jesus looked like. Jesus could have literally had an afro, guys. Didn't he grow up somewhere in the Middle East, in Mesopotamia or something like that? Wouldn't he have had dark skin, not light skin? Would he have not have had a kind of rounded nose and not a pointed nose? He wouldn't have had that long, flowing blonde hair that you see in all these Catholic pictures. We don't know. That's sort of, guys. The statement Jesus had long hair perfectly encapsulates everything I'm talking about. That's just a construct of belief. You don't know he had long hair. You don't even know he existed. It could have been something else. It could have been something else that we're all talking about. Hi, you have a large amount of listeners, and why not set a time and place to all meet? I can't say that word. Let's stand up for each other. Nazis never died. They moved to here. That's a good point, Karen. Well, I like where would we all meet? Like, I live in Oklahoma, and a lot of you guys live in California, New Mexico, Texas, Florida, New York, New Jersey, South Dakota, Colorado. So it would behoove us to just get together with our own groups of people in our own communities and set brush fires of freedom in our own communities. What would be, I don't mind being the point person, but what we have to do, this has to be completely decentralized. You know what I mean? Completely kind of like organic, not disorganized, just organic in the sense that it actually facilitates action in your town, because it's your town. My town is going under, guys. If this thing goes to April 30th, let alone May 30th or the end of June, at least 50% of the small businesses in my town will cease to exist. I don't want that to happen in my town. I don't want that to happen in your town. So yeah, we got to do something. And if I can be the point person and facilitate these little groups, hey, lay it on me. Send me a email at contact@highimpactflix.com. Maybe we can set up a Discord group where we can just kind of talk about it. I'm open, man. I'm open. I love the app idea that somebody had earlier. Chicago mayor is being criticized for going to her hairstylist while we all can't. Do as I say, not as I do. Exactly. 18 wheels to hell. Exactly. All right, guys. I cannot believe I've been on here for 2 hours. If this is the longest live stream I've ever done, this is going to be ridiculous. Nobody's going to want to watch this. Okay. Please like and share this video with everybody. You know, I don't know how many likes are on this because I'm looking at the back end, so I don't know how many likes there are. Please give this a like before you leave. If I'd said something to you that hurts your feelings with religions, I'm not apologizing about that. But all I'm going to say is this. I want to wrap this up. I like what Anthony Brian Logan says. We're going to wrap it up and put a bow on top. I like you, Anthony. Man, if you're watching, I love you. I love you, Brian Tatum. I love all you guys. SGT Reports, I don't care what you said about me. I love you too. X22, don't even know you. Never talked to you. Mark Dice, you know, you guys could hate my guts. It's okay. We do need to get together at such an hour as this. If we don't get together, if we don't stand together, we will hang separately. That is not a cliche. That's a reality. It's happening all over the place. We're going broke. We're going under, and we got to get together. So I just want to say this about religion. All I'm asking you to do is just face the truth. And I have to face the truth every day too. It's like there are certain things you're just taking people's word for it. You buy into it because you just believe it. It's not because you can prove it. It's not even that the Muslim can't prove it, that his God, Allah, is the only God and Muhammad's the prophet. The Catholic can't prove it. The Christian can't prove it. The Jew can't prove it, but you believe it. Am I downing you for believing it? No, but I'm just saying admit that that's all it is a construct of belief. And you're choosing to believe it. You could have believed something else. You really could have. That's demonstratable. That's provable. You just have to, there's a difference between knowledge and belief. Because belief is faith. It's choosing to trust something even though you don't know fully what's going on. And you just have to admit that. And that's all it is. So, guys, thank you. Thank you for the super chats. Please go. I'm going to end this with this. My BitChute channel, I've uploaded this video right here about Dr. Thomas Cowan. If you haven't seen this particular video, this is new material. He just released it a couple days ago. Please go to my BitChute channel, subscribe to my BitChute channel. I only got 27,464 subscribers over there. Please subscribe to it because this will be my video platform if my YouTube channel gets shut down. I want to thank you guys on Patreon. Oh, sorry. I didn't know that wasn't. Sorry about that, guys. That wasn't centered. Here, there's my BitChute channel right there. Patreon, PayPal, guys. Thank you so much. Thank you for purchasing the shirts. People were talking about that new shirt. I do these shirts right here because, let me just go to this. It's a rare thing for me to go out with one of my shirts that says something like this right here and doesn't spark a conversation. People look at a shirt like this and it's almost like, it's like going by an accident. You don't want to look, but you kind of have to. And so when they see something and do a double take, I use that as an opportunity to go, you know why I did this, right? Because the left versus right paradigm lie is exactly why we're in the shape we are today. It just opens, it just cracks a door and opens it so that I can enter somebody else's world outside of my regular zone of influence and have influence on the thinking of another person, because if I know you guys, if you're like me, you just desire that person's good. And one of the best things you can drop inside of them is the seed of truth to cause them to question everything, not believe anybody, take up the mantle and the sword of critical thinking, where you're questioning everything, you're guarding yourself, you're not buying into the deception, you're not acting on emotion, you're acting on knowledge, or at least whatever knowledge you have at the time, and just securing freedom. I like what Samuel Adams said. It's not the majority who will prevail, but the irate and tireless minority who are keen on setting brush fires of freedom in the minds of men. So with that, thank you guys on Patreon, on PayPal for, when you buy these shirts, you're supporting this channel, supporting more content. When you're buying the food, you're helping yourself by getting that food, because it will help you out, the 25-year shelf life and all that kind of stuff. I got the links in the description. But when you're doing that, you're supporting getting the truth out. If on any point you think I'm not telling the truth or I've gone way off base, let me have it. And let's talk. Let's reason together. But there is a Bible verse that says, my people perish for lack of what? Not faith. They perish for lack of knowledge. I really appreciate you guys. Please hit the subscribe button. Please share this with everybody you know, and I'll see you guys in the next Heavily Censored